A fragile voice in a world of arms. Warships flow while cities shake. I push the throttle till the heavens break. I'm not a hero, I'm just the one, still chasing ghosts into the sun. An ace is only worth his name when he flies through death and flame.
So sing for me when the cannons roar. Sing like peace is worth fighting for. I'll meet the storm, I'll take the lead. I'll be the shield the others need. Through the static, through the fire, I climb higher, I climb higher.
With every lock and every strike, I gamble one more borrowed life.
If my wings fall from the blue, let my final trail guide you.
I'll become the morning light. If it ends this war tonight.
A pilot's prayer, missile smoke and neon air. I learned to fight, I learned to fall, I learned the sky could take it all. But past the battle line I see a dream that still belongs to me. A place where songs outlive the gun and no one has to lose someone.
I can hear them calling my name. Friends I lost inside the flame. They're flying with me side by side. Ghost formation in the night. Ghosts in the night. They fly.
Here we go. Never a dull moment in this place. Lovely Academy City.
All right, and let's just the volume quick. Too low. There. And welcome everybody to the stream. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing amazing. How's it going? It is going well. How you doing, bro? How you doing? Hey, hun. Hi, hun. What is up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone is having an amazing Wednesday. And like midweek's going well, like everyone's week's going well and everything like that. So, Pat, happy birthday, by the way. Again, happy birthday, Pat. Playing games, chilling and playing games there. Nice. I did forget about something that, well, it technically comes out tomorrow, but I kind of already committed to Prime 4 tomorrow, but Grand Blue's expansion comes out tomorrow. So I gotta find time to do that. You're welcome, of course, Pat. I did see that you were on some Genshin there, bro. I did remember to finally get back onto NTE. We do have a new character. I did pull her. So, but yeah, new stuff. Oh, please tell me I did not. Okay, well. Posting Fatash's Discord. I was like, oh god, did I post in the wrong place? Oh god. Yes, our little pufferfish Pat, his birthday is today. So here's to July babies. 3 optional super bosses you missed. Which ones are you missing? Do you know of, bro? I want to know, or like that aren't part of the free DLC that dropped, right? I take base game. I think that's I'm wondering if that's what you mean. Heck yeah, July babies. Yeah, tonight we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna be doing we're not gonna do really any AI reacts tonight, just because a lot of the videos I'm going to be watching are probably going to take up most of the time tonight. So we're going to watch some Fat Electrician, some Brandon Herrera, and then some police videos. We're gonna go through some police videos possibly. So I have I see a thumbnail that I'm laughing at right now. Sorry. I'll show you guys here in a minute, but yeah, I wonder what super bosses you're missing. They're part of the free. Okay. So you took care of so you took care of Simon? Thank you, hon. Thank you. Simon, I will state this. Simon can be if you're not ready for him, Simon will kick your ass hard. He's got 33 million HP, by the way. I only know that because I was calculating. Phase 1, I'm like, phase 1. Oh my, I beat him like phase 1 wasn't too bad. Where's it going to get worse? Does he have a phase 2? Phase 2 start? I'm like, here we go. Hey, Hollister, thank you for gifting a sub over to Yanuka over there on Geek. I will add that to the subathon timer coming up soon. Let me reacts. There we go. By the way, I saw this thumbnail here. I was laughing. You're not. So So how I did it, Edge, is I did Verso, Mael, and CL. And then Verso was, for me, I built Verso to be a machine gun that would add stacks of burn. And then I was using Mael to do her burn stack attack that does more damage per stack of burn. And then CL would double her damage and then make her go. So that's like how I built them up to just powerhouse Mael and just burn things away. Except for when they're immune to fire, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I have to figure out a completely different strategy. Oh god, you want me? Who am I gifting a tier 2 to? Actually, oh well, god, is that only one or is it? Hold on, it's been a minute since I've actually. Ah, yes. My choice. My choice. All right. Let me take care of this real quick. Doing good? That's good to hear, Hollister. I'm glad you're doing good. Sorry. Having to deal with redeems. Do not redeem. There we go. There it goes. Do not redeem. Do not redeem. But yeah, we're gonna have fun. But yeah, that's how I did it. Apparently there's like a really broken build with like every character. If you do them right, you can make them broken. It's stupid how you can build your teams. It just depends on how you're doing your teams. I know people were doing the one shot with Mael, which I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that because I want the game to still have some fun to it. So I didn't do the one shot Mael. Yep, that was thank happy for that. All right. But yeah, let's we're sitting in silence. Let's get into some reacts. I like that. Trying to adjust volume and I'm failing. Verso. Okay. And I know there's a really good way of doing that. Do we have him? No, I keep I was a little busy last night and then I completely forgot to do that when I was working. I apologize, Daryl. I thought you were writing me as promo for Soul. I'm confused here. I'll give. I will get something for you for Kuro because I know who it is, but I will. But yes, I know I'm horrible. I'm bad at that. All right, so Zach Hollister, tier 2 there. Heroes there. That's right. Okay. So I'm just making sure I know. Because I'm starting the timer at 48 and now we're at 49 hours. So I'm doing all the math pre-hand. So that's going to be fun. Anyways, let's get into the reacts before I forget. But yes, I will have something for you tomorrow. For Elise Crow. If you have something for King Soul, I will do that as well. Because I already kind of know and like where I was going, and I'm like, oh, I'll just write this, I'll do this, and I got that, and then yeah. We don't talk about Monday. I was streaming Monday, so I didn't even think about it. So anyways, yeah, so we're gonna check out the Fat Electrician. He just put this one up 6 days ago, so it's been killing me not watching this the last 6 days. I still have yet to watch this video right here, the Fighting Preacher. This will probably be something we do on during the subathon, because that's like an hour and a half, and it's gonna be like a 3-hour fucking so long. It's gonna be so long. But anyways, we're going to do World War II Marines versus convicts, the Battle of Alcatraz. Hello, Kura. How's it going? How you doing? How is it going?
I've been sitting on this topic for years and I've just never had enough information to do a full video, but I finally managed to track down just enough, and I'm very excited. Today we're talking about the Battle of Alcatraz, that time in 1946 when Alcatraz Prison Island lost control of some of their inmates and they acquired firearms and the guards couldn't handle the situation, so they went to the US government and the US government was like, we've got an entire branch of the military that specializes in taking islands, actually.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
Ken, I know what you're thinking. There's no way that this happened. It's too perfect of a scenario. There's literally one prison island and it goes out of control, so they have to send in the one branch of the military that specializes in capturing islands. It sounds like the setup to an action movie. This isn't real life, but it is. And if you don't believe me, here's a bunch of newspapers from the time period.
Oh, this one's going to be good, and it's one of those, it seems too surreal to be real. It just feels like a movie, right? 100%.
Oh, I accidentally gave away the ending.
In the business, we call
Because
this
us.
foreshadowing.
Let's be real. If you've watched any of my videos, you already knew that was the only possible.
He probably won't, just because this is specifically on this. Granted, Alcatraz, I mean, there's a lot of people who died at Alcatraz, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's spiritual presence there. Not good ones either. Oh, this one, yeah, I haven't watched it yet. So
He's sitting in the Marine Corps when he wants something dead, broken, or pregnant, and that's just how this plays out. But historically speaking, there's more important things at play here, because if it wasn't for the Battle of Alcatraz, the Marine Corps as we know it today might not even exist, and we're going to get to it right after word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Supremacy.
It's not delete me.
Free-to-play
Not delete me.
online
Yeah, okay.
PvP military-based strategy game. The entire thing's based on a World War III type scenario where you get to pick your country and go to war with the rest of
I've
the
not
world.
done
You can
this,
forge alliances,
but
or
I
you
don't
can
play
just
a
go
lot of
solo
mobile
and try and
games,
take over the
and
whole
I'm
thing yourself.
only playing
They've just
over
introduced a new
because
shadow market,
this
which basically
is
the black
Nick's
market
video.
where you
I
get a
want
bunch
to
of
make sure
sketchy
he gets
illegal
the
stuff
ad
under the table
view
that's gonna
for it.
upset people
So
if they find out. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it's going to upset people.
no,
That's
I did
literally a function of the
see.
game. If you get caught, it can actually cause
I did see that it was.
civil unrest or damage
I
the
put it.
morale
I
of your
actually.
country.
It's in my
Unpopular opinion, they should
watch
probably
it
update it so
for
it
later.
increases
My
the morale
AIs
of the
for
American
later.
military if they get caught, because their unofficial motto is
I
if
have
you're
yet
not
to watch
cheating,
it because
you're
I'm
not
like,
trying. I mean,
I'm gonna
it's
save
never a
this
war
for a
crime
stream
the
day,
first time.
but
So if you want to give it a try, you can play with up to 99
but I
other
already
people,
know
and
like
it's available
today
on
is going to be
PC
one of
and mobile,
those
and
like
it's
I
free.
got
So
a
if you wanna
lot
check it
to
out, I'm gonna link
watch,
in the discount code down below. Let's get
and
back
I've
to the
got a
video.
lot of like. Let's put it this way: I have a lot of live videos I need to watch, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So I may have to just do a second React night here soon. But yes, I do have it. Like I saw, I was like, cool, sweet. Save for later. Like it's literally on. I can show you right here. Playlists. AI reacts. It's in here. Ah, no. It's literally right there. So I do have stuff. Like I still have something from Null. I have Hanjin. So I've got Lily. Like I'm trying to put stuff in here so I remember to watch in there. Hey Z. All right. Back to what we were watching. Yeah. Yeah, it's really easy for me to get distracted and forget, but it's in my watch list, so don't worry. What's up, Jaded?
All right, our story begins in May of 1946. World War II has just ended, and with
Wish
the
the
ending of World War II,
pupper
it has
fish.
brought about a
Happy
huge
birthday,
conversation
everyone.
in politics and the military as
Don't worry,
how the
I've got
military
you,
should
Crow.
function
I've got
moving
you.
forward into the future, because World War II kind of turned all of the doctrines and warfare upside down on its head. You see, going into World War II, pretty much every
How are you
country
doing today,
and
Jaded?
most of the military strategists and tacticians all believed that the future of warfare was going to be battleships. Huge, massive, tough, heavy armored ships with massive guns that could just roll up to the enemy's coastline and shoot humongous rounds that
Yeah, that failed spectacularly. I mean, I don't think we even have we don't have an actual battleship anymore. We have like a lot of cruise. We have a lot of ships, but we don't have like an actual like what is class. No, we still have what like the Iowa class. The Iowa class is still battleships. They all haven't been retired yet. I don't think they have. winding down. That's good to hear. Jaded, that's good to hear.
Weighed thousands of pounds at the enemy from 30 miles away. But in practice, that's not really how it worked out, because what World War II proved was that aviation was the future, because aircraft carriers dominated the seas and massive bombing raids dominated the battlefield. Simply put, whoever has air superiority is
Like
probably gonna
Hawaii,
win.
okay.
Because of that, in the wake of World War II, the United States government and the military is basically saying, okay, well, if
Maybe the
aviation
Wyoming,
is the
yeah.
most important thing, we should
Yeah, like or most of them are just either museum pieces or like they're at their end of life. They're probably gonna be decommissioned soon-ish. TM high. I state that, who knows? We might have a battleship in production. We just don't know about it.
probably have a branch of the military exclusively dedicated to aviation. The Army Air Corps should split off from the Army, become its own thing, the Air Force, and it is in charge of all aviation for every branch. As we know, it doesn't really play out that way because the Army still has planes and helicopters, and the Navy still has fighter pilots and planes and helicopters, and there's the Air Force on top of that. But this is the conversation going on at the time. And because of that, the conversation turns into, okay, every branch has their one thing.
It's
The Navy has boats,
okay.
the Air Force has planes, and the Army is in control of ground warfare. The problem is, where does that leave the Marine Corps? It doesn't, and that's how the conversation comes.
Oh, that meme will never get old. It never will. I might not like Pulp Fiction's an okay movie, but that meme will never get old.
Kind of devolves into maybe we should get rid of the Marine Corps. And while that is a horribly stupid idea, that's what they're talking about. So in May of 1946, the United States Senate is heavily considering slashing the
sounds
Marine
good,
Corps'
bro.
budget and downsizing the entire Corps, essentially getting the ball rolling on abolishing the Marine Corps entirely. And on May 6th of 1946, General Vandegrift, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, is scheduled to give a speech in front of the Senate to basically
Z's active in the Navy as well, and Z's a streaker. Streaking 95 stream streak. Let's go, Z.
advocate for not getting rid of the United States Marine Corps and explain to all these politicians why it is such a horrible idea. But before he has the opportunity to do so, fate would step in and prove his point for him. May 2nd, 1946, there was an inmate at Alcatraz by the name of Bernard Coy, who's currently serving 26 years for bank robbery. His psychiatric evaluation describes him as, and I quote, in possession of superior intelligence, is prison-wise, reckless, impulsive, and erratic. Despite that,
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Foreshadowing. Foster, thanks for giving saying happy birthday to the pufferfish Pat. By the way, Pat, Happy and I were talking about it because my birthday is literally next Wednesday, so. Or Marie. Yeah. That's true too. Well, no, it doesn't say he likes eating crayons.
has somehow managed to obtain a job as a prison orderly, which basically means that he's given free roam around the cell block and he delivers mail and other things to the other inmates and just helps the guards do whatever they need to do. Utilizing
Like
this
a
freedom of movement,
politician,
he has
yes.
conspired with other inmates and hatched a plan to escape. And one of
That's 100% a politician. Walking around and conspiring with other inmates to plan. Yeah, that's one. Or a damn good Marine, yeah.
his co-conspirators is a guy that has a job working in the kitchen by the name of Marvin Hubbard, who is serving a 99-year sentence for kidnapping, grand theft auto, and according to his official documentation, has an IQ of 65, which is a very polite way of saying,
you're retarded.
Ken, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would Bernard Coy, the criminal mastermind, want to team up with the moron in the kitchen that's barely qualified to make instant mashed potatoes to help him break out of prison? It doesn't make any sense. And at a glance, you're right. Okay, what you got to realize is we're talking about breaking out of Alcatraz. Nobody has ever managed to pull this off, and the only people willing to
And no one at this time, no one had pulled it off because it's not until the 60s that we have official, like, successful prison breaks.
try are people that occupy the far ends of the bell curve. You're either highly intelligent and have a massive ego, and that's why you think you can pull this off, or you're over here licking windows for taste, and you think that anything's possible because you're kind of fucking stupid. And if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, Hubbard was probably not Coy's first draft pick, but it was the only guy that would take the job. His third and final co-conspirator, on the other hand, is a guy by the name of Joe Kretzer, who has a massive criminal rap sheet that would ultimately culminate in him forming the Kretzner gang and would see him going around the country robbing banks, ranks, where he would ultimately wind up as public enemy number 4 with the FBI, which was that day's equivalent of the number 4 most wanted man in the country. After being captured, he was put in a different prison. He would ultimately escape from that prison for 3 days before being recaptured, and then while going through the court process for breaking out of prison, he would try to escape again, killing a federal marshal in the process, finally landing him at Alcatraz.
So, pretty much one of those cases where he got multiple life sentences. Meaning when you die and you're reborn, you have to continue to serve, motherfucker.
Yeah, these are the 3 guys that started everything. I was actually able to track down some footage of all 3 of these guys on May 4th, 1946. Roll the tape.
This was Bernard Paul Coy, Kentucky bank robber. Tennessee kidnapper Marvin Franklin Hubbard is also taken to the city morgue. Joseph Paul Kreitzer, California killer, reportedly the brains behind the attempted jailbreak.
This Windows tastes like glass cleaner, but this one tastes like this. Yeah, that's pretty much what, 65 IQ, that's pretty much what you're saying. Yeah. Oh.
All right, May 2nd, 1946, Coy is currently roaming around the cell block working as an orderly, and Hubbard is working inside the kitchen, and Coy is waiting for Hubbard to come out.
Once knew a guy who had an IQ, a 180 IQ. Make dumber people sub 70. What that means. I think it's one of those, like, you were intelligent enough that he's like, okay, I don't have to be dumb around you and I can be myself, versus like there's a lot of people you just sit there and you're like, I have to dumb down myself just to It could have been that too. You could have just been a fun guy to be around. Yeah, book smart doesn't mean common sense smart either. That is true too.
Out of the kitchen when he's done doing whatever he's doing in there, because Coy and Hubbard both know that whenever they leave the kitchen, he has to get searched to make sure he's not trying to steal anything or like bring a knife or something out of the kitchen. While Hubbard is getting searched by the guard, Coy attacks the guard from behind. They both jump the guard and beat him unconscious, taking his keys. Now from here, they get the keys, they go let Joe Kretzner out, and then Hubbard and Kretzner lift Coy up to the gun gallery, which is covered by bars because they need to keep it safe because that's where all the guns are. But Coy's been planning this for months and he has been starving himself the entire time. He also has acquired grease and made a homemade bar spreader out of a nut, a bolt, and a couple other pieces of metal. He manages to grease himself up and spread these bars apart just enough to slip his body through into an area that no convict should be able to get into. So because he...
That's pretty fucking smart. That's... Granted, you're starving yourself, so you're going to be malnourished, so you're going to be dealing with other issues. Unless you're like starving yourself in a way where you're purposely losing body weight, but you're keeping yourself at least healthy enough to not feel malnourished, which would require you only taking in like 750 calories and trying to not burn more than 1,500. That would be the equivalent, but they wouldn't have had that kind of knowledge, so it would have been like you eat like a piece of bread a day and some water and you make that last the entire day type thing. And by the way,
now has the element of surprise. He's very easily able to ambush a guard, knocking him out. He then takes his 30-06 rifle, his Colt 1911, and his club. He drops the 1911 and the club down to his accomplices and continues through the gun gallery with his rifle. Utilizing the gun gallery, he makes his way over to D Block, which is not the normal part of Alcatraz. D Block is cordoned off with extra security. This is like the maximum security portion where the worst of the worst guys go, and they're all on solitary confinement. He gets the guards in.
D Block is solitary. Got it. Okay.
D Block at gunpoint forces them to open the door between D Block and the rest of the prison and let his accomplices in. They then take all 6 guards and move them into an empty cell in C Block and lock them up. C Block is empty right now because all the inmates that are supposed to be in those cells are outside in the rec yard. They then attempt to release everybody in D Block to help them with this getaway. Remember, these are the guys that are in prison and are getting punished on top of being in prison and placed in solitary confinement. Presumably, they're the worst of the worst, and the vast majority of them are like, no thank you, I'm good. And they...
Yeah, probably some... nowadays you'd find the people who game ended PDF files in there, which they shouldn't be in solitary. They're doing the world service. Okay.
Stay in their cell. Like I said, bell curve. You have to have a delusional amount of self-confidence or be a fucking idiot to think you can pull this off. But apparently, at least 3 of the convicts in D block fall into those
Just a
categories
dumbass in
because
here.
3 people
I get
do
that.
join them. We've got
I feel
Mary
that,
Thompson, who has
supernatural.
8 previous successful jail and prison escapes on his rap sheet. Then we've got Clarence Carnes, who has 1 successful escape attempt on his rap sheet. And finally, we have Sam Shockley, who, as far as I can tell, is just a fucking psychopath.
He looks like a psychopath. Yeah, like Nick said, psychopath. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this man looks like what a real life Hannibal Lecter would look like. Like very calm demeanor, like willing to just do whatever it takes, and is like would murder countless amounts of people. And probably cook them alive, but that's besides the point. I know, right?
Okay,
Ooh,
everything
this
is
one,
going
yes.
Perfect. It's going
I
according
haven't
to plan.
watched
We've
this
got
one yet,
6
so-
convicts. We've got 6 guards. We're going to take their uniforms. The convicts are going to put the uniforms on. Then we're going to take the keys, which we already have, use that to open up the door to the rec yard. We're going to
Yes.
take the guards out at gunpoint and force the rest of the guards
After
to let us
climbing
out. And
without-
then we're going to make our way down to the dock.
Exactly.
Where there is a resupply
Hollister.
ship for Alcatraz that is there every day at 2 p.m. We're going to commandeer that ship with our hostages.
That's some
and
good
then we're
shit,
gonna
yeah.
sail
Oh,
it across
no.
that 2-mile gap over to San Francisco, and then we're home free. And that's the plan. So they get the guards' uniforms on, then they go over to the door, they figure out which key works, they go through all the keys. None of the keys open this fucking door. As fate would have it, the guard that they knocked out first, the one with the keys, the one that
Making
was
fun of
completely
idiots. You know, I
ambushed
get that.
and had no idea that this was coming, for some reason, he didn't like having that particular key with the rest of his keys, and he kept it in the breast pocket of his uniform. And there was a period of time where he was in the cell in his uniform before they came back and took their uniforms. So he had taken the key and hid it inside the toilet. So the convicts go back to the guards in the cell. We don't know what happens.
That's smart. That's very smart.
They might have beat him up to get it, or the guards might have just handed it over because they knew the convicts were already fucked. Regardless, the convicts get the key that they need. They go back to the door. The key won't work. God damn it! It's a security door. If you use the
Have I ever heard of Yarn Hub? No, and I'm afraid to ever look. I'm afraid to look. What the hell is Yarn Hub? It sounds dirty, but it's also yarn. So how can it? Never mind.
wrong key a single time, it jams the door, and then you have to have special equipment.
An animation
maintenance, and
channel?
everything
Oh.
to come fix the door. The door's not coming open. They're fucked. Okay, plan B. Coy goes over to one of the windows from the gun gallery and takes
Oh, I'll have to check them out. So they're an animation channel that covers military actions and history. Okay. Exactly. Correct. So I was seeing them like Yarna. No, it's not that kind of pub, okay?
aim at the guards inside the watchtower overlooking the yard and starts shooting at them. Now he misses, but it doesn't really matter because presumably he wasn't even trying to hit the guard. He just wants all the rest of the guards that aren't under his control to know that they're trying to escape, because now they got to come in here to stop him. And
Wait, F-16s, it's amazing. All right, I'm gonna have to check it out. I'll pull up I'll have to pull up Yarn Hub at some point in time. So I'll have to check them out.
the only way to do that is to open the main door. So if they come in guns blazing, open the main door, and he can kill them first, he still gets to escape.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
From here, the convicts go. They get posted up by the main door, getting ready for this firefight. Sure enough, the guards come in, guns blazing. They walk right into this ambush. One guard is
I don't blame you, Kura. I don't blame you. Trust me. Again and again. All right.
killed, 5 more are wounded, and they are forced to retreat, but they manage to shut the doors behind them, so now the convicts are still trapped. At this point, they realize they're totally screwed. Up until this point, they were just trying to escape. Yeah, they knocked out a guard, but everybody's still alive, everybody's still breathing. Now, they've killed at least one guard and wounded 5 more. Now, if they don't somehow escape, they're either going to get the death penalty or they're going to spend the rest of their life here on Alcatraz, and the guards are going to make sure their lives are a living hell because they just killed at least one of their buddies. So now they're all starting to panic. Joe Kretzner, the hardcore gangster, America's public enemy number 4, grabs the pistol, goes over to the cell block with the guards, and starts shooting all of the guards because he doesn't want any witnesses to be able to testify against him in court. One of them is killed, the other 5 are hit, and then proceed to play dead. Seeing this, the other 3 convicts that were not part of the original plan, the 3 that join, Carnes, Thompson, and Shockley, are like, fuck this, I'm out. They go back to their cells, lock them in, and their plan is to be like, nope, I stayed in my cell the entire time. I was never involved. Please don't punish me too. And while
all right, yeah, we're gonna break out prison. Sweet. All right, let's go. Shoot 6 guards. Nope, fuck this shit, I'm out. He totally yeah, he's total fuck ups with more yeah. Well, I'm going to get the death penalty anyways. Might as well take more people with me. All right, whatever.
That's going on. The warden of Alcatraz, after hearing that his initial attack against the convicts had failed, has sent out a call to the U.S. government.
The Marines.
So the United States government gets a call from the warden, and remember, the U.S. government is on some bullshit right now. They think the Air Force should only have planes, the Navy should only have boats, and all the ground warfare should go to the Army, so they kick this over to the Army instead of the Marine Corps, even though it's an island and they're launching an invasion on an island. But whatever, they kick it over to the Army.
Are you sure this water's sanitary? It looks questionable to me.
In their defense, though, if you were going to give it to the Army, they did give it to probably the 2 best guys that you could give this task to, because they gave it to the 2 generals with probably the most guerrilla warfare experience in all of World War II. That being Vinegar Joe Stillwell and his right-hand guy, General Frank Merrill, as in like Merrill's Marauders, Frank Merrill. Which, if you don't know, we talked about these guys in my last video. Logan Weston, the fighting preacher, was part of Merrill's Marauders. Basically, it was 3,000
which I will get to that one
volunteers
eventually.
that
I don't know
went
why.
into India and then proceeded to march from India into Burma, like 1,250 miles, and conducted guerrilla warfare operations against Imperial Japan for 7 months straight, living in the jungle the entire time with no assets other than getting supplies airdropped to them. Okay, if you're not picking up on a button down, if anybody knows how to handle an irregular situation, it's General Merrill, and he's now in charge. And he's got himself in an irregular situation right out of the gate, because if he sends U.S. soldiers into Alcatraz, he could probably wind up getting arrested and thrown in prison for the rest of his life, because you could argue that this violates U.S. Code 1385, also referred to as the Posse Comitatus Act.
Excuse
This
me?
is what you hear about anytime there's like riots or anything.
Oh, they
going on in the world,
screwed,
you're
yeah.
wondering why the president or the government isn't sending in the Marines and the National Guard to quell the riots. They always bring up this act because it's illegal. The only way the government can legally send in troops on federal orders to control the civilian
Yeah, I saw all those
population
medals.
is if they
That
have
is
an
ridiculous
act
amount of
of
medals.
Congress, which is going to take a while, doesn't really apply to this situation, or the governor of that state specifically requests it, which again is a government function that's going to take forever, and we don't have time for that shit right now. So Joe Stillwell and Frank Merrill's asses are quite literally on the line. If they mess this up and it goes sideways and the
yeah, it
government
does.
needs a scapegoat, they're probably going to throw these guys in jail for saying that
Yeah, most of these guys were like, just got back from war. They're all fucking, they've murdered men with their own bare hands and have no qualms about killing pieces of shit. You know, they really don't give a fuck.
they violated this act, so the government doesn't take any heat for it. So whatever they decide to do, it's very important they follow the letter of the law exactly. And in order to do that, you got to read the law. So let's go ahead and do that. U.S. Code 1385. Whoever, except in cases under circumstances expressly authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress, willfully uses any part of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, or the Space Force as a posse comitatus or otherwise to execute the laws shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 2 years or both. So that's pretty much it. Case closed. In 2026, you can't use any branch of the United States.
Why are you wearing all your medals in question? The medals in question? Oh, never mind. Carry on. Yeah, exactly.
States military to conduct police actions unless you have like an act of Congress, which is going to take forever. But this isn't 2026, this is 1946, and that law has been rewritten a couple of times since then, probably in part because of what happens next. Because in 1946, when Frank Merrill pulls up the letter of the law, here's what that act actually says. Quote, from and after the passage of this act, it shall not be lawful to employ any part of the Army of the United States as a posse comitatus or otherwise for the purpose of executing the laws, except in such cases and under such circumstances as such employment of said force may be expressly authorized by the Constitution or by an act of Congress. Okay, translation, he can't send in the U.S. Army. It don't say shit about the Marine Corps, okay? We're gonna follow the law to the letter. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's a loophole. Says the Army, doesn't say the Marines. Technically also doesn't say the Navy either, so there's that too. So I'm just saying, letter of the law states.
We have a loophole. General Frank Merrill, the guerrilla warfare expert, is literally going to use the Air Bud legal defense to send in the United States Marine Corps to take out a bunch of convicts.
The Air Bud legal
The
defense.
Marines are nicknamed devil dogs makes that even funnier.
Ain't no rules said the dog can't play basketball. This is a joke.
Now, is that in accordance with the spirit of the law?
Yeah, Coast Guard gets weird because Coast Guard is its own branch, but is not a military service. Is closer to akin to the National Guard, which is a state by state military connection, or military grouping, but they're not. They fall under essentially whatever jurisdiction that they would be. Like the Coast Guard would technically fall under Navy, where like the National Guard usually falls under Army. They're like a subsect. It's weird. That's where it gets like weird. Department of Homeland. Okay, Coast Guard is Department of Homeland. Thanks, Z. I can't remember that one. So yeah, it operates under a separate title, but is part of the Department of Homeland. So that makes a little more sense. So it technically, I don't think it would fall under that law specifically, but it's probably got another random law. It's bureaucratic BS. Yeah, they're DHS. Yep, the more you know. Bum, bum, bum.
Absolutely not. But is it to the letter of the law? Yes. Yes, it is. If you're the first one to do it, it can't be illegal yet. It's never a war crime the first time. Them's the rules. So General Merrill presumably calls up the Marine Corps and is like, hey, I need a bunch of Marines to break into a prison on Alcatraz and take out some armed convicts. And the Marine Corps is like, I've got the perfect guys.
Oh, no.
May 3rd, 1946 at 6 p.m., an assault boat full of
yeah, you should. I need to get it too.
86 guys rolls up to Alcatraz. These Marines have just got back home to America from Guam, where for the
provisions that in time of war or national emergency, the president can move, DHS or the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of Defense or Department of War, depending on what action is required and what is the reasoning. So it's like also why, like, I think for the longest time, the Marines could be sent into any situation without approval of Congress as long as the president okayed it. I think that changed like 90s, like right after Desert Storm, it finally got switched around. But for like the longest time, the president could just sit there and go, yeah, I'm just deploying the Marines over here, and Congress would be like, fuck, okay, I guess, all right. He can do that. Just an armchair moron. Yeah, I don't know 100% either. So I'm just, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. But I don't know. It might have changed or it might be limited, but he still has like power to just send them out and into conflicts whenever without approval. I know that like he can execute a military operation as long as he informs Congress within 48 hours of the military conduct. What we did with Venezuela's president, dictator. with Maduro. We just yoinked the president. Just saying.
The past 6 months, they have been on the island of Guam going into fortified enemy bunkers of Japanese soldiers that refuse to surrender and clearing them out. Imperial Japanese soldiers inside of a bunker, convicts inside of a prison, potato, potato. It's basically the same thing. And the Marines are showing up ready to party. In addition to their normal kit, you know, rifles and pistols, they've also brought flamethrowers, mortars, bazookas,
How to make friends and terrify your enemies in one fell swoop. For that, yeah, I know, right?
machine guns, a shit ton of grenades, rifle grenades, and shape charges, aka bunker busting bombs. And if that wasn't enough, they're being led by a Marine by the name of Charles Buckner, who just got a Silver Star in Guam for repelling an enemy ambush. The next day, an enemy field piece was opening fire on his men, so he took a machine gun out and got rid of it by himself. And then the day after that, he got shot by enemy sniper fire and refused to be evacuated until he was ordered to do so by his superiors. Doesn't sound like the guy you want to be fucking with.
No,
So the Marines make
that's
their amphibious landing
someone
on
you don't want to
Alcatraz.
fuck with.
Here's Johnny.
Oh no, it that got eaten. No, I didn't get to read it. Ah, that got eaten. Sorry, Supernatural. I got eaten.
Charles Buckner immediately goes, finds the warden, and is like, all right, what's the plan? Where are the bad guys? What are we doing? The warden briefs Buckner on the situation. Buckner's like, okay, I need to know where they're at, and I need blueprints of the prison.
Apparently
In the
YouTube did
meantime,
not like
what do
that.
you need my guys doing? What else do you need help with? And the warden is like, well, we've got 140 convicts that are stuck outside in the yard because they were out there when the prison got taken over, and we're just kind of watching over them. They've been out there all day yesterday and all this morning. We could use some guys out there helping watch these guys. Buckner is like, all right, go ahead, take care of it, boys. The Marines run out to the yard, you know, they get up on the perches around this wreck yard.
YouTube doesn't
The
like
Marines are
long
standing there with
comments.
their guns just looking down at all these convicts. And the convicts, you know, they're thugs, they're hardened criminals. They think they're tough because they robbed a bank with a Tommy gun. And they're looking up at these Marines who are all presumably 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. And they start talking shit. Now, this is based
Today, we're going to learn about how much you can fuck around and how much you will find out. And they're fucking around really hard. Oh,
the recollection of the guards and the Marines that were later interviewed, but supposedly one of the convicts yelled up, oh, look, we've got some soldier boys here. I'm so scared. Fuck you guys.
Hi. So today's lesson, we're going to talk about a different phenomena on this graph here that I think that you need to be aware of.
At which point, all of the Marines in unison, without a word being spoken, flicked the safeties off of their rifles and pointed them down at the convicts, and the corporal in charge replied, give me an excuse to blow one of your guys' fucking heads off. The convicts got real quiet and cooperative after that.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of... Hey, fuck you. Click. What was that? I couldn't hear you. What? You want to repeat that? You're right. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck.
And while all this is going on, Buckner's getting brought up to speed.
give them
and
a
the
reason.
situation is more complicated than he originally thought. This is not simply a smash through the bunker, kill the bad guys type scenario that he's used to. This is a hostage rescue situation because there's guards in there that presumably might still be alive. So we can't just start blowing stuff up. So we got to come up with a plan to get in there, rescue the guards. So that night they killed.
Like, I'm gonna go over here and rethink. Yeah, I'm in prison. I thought it was gonna be tough. Yeah, that was a bad choice. Oh, Bubba's gonna beat the shit out of me later when we get back in. When we get back into the prison. Oh, I'm gonna get shanked. Oh, this is gonna be bad. I fucked up. Everyone's giving pupperfish cats some birthday wishes, which I love. Love seeing that.
the power to the
Make it
prison,
feel
so it is
special.
pitch black in there. Then with flashlights, guards and Marines storm the East Gun Gallery and they take it. Now the East Gun Gallery only covers the main cell blocks A, B, and C. It does not cover D block. They don't see any armed convicts or a riot going on, so they come to the conclusion that all the perpetrators must be held up in D block. And now with the East Gun Gallery under their control, they have the high ground, they have machine guns, they're going to be able to provide covering fire and superior firing positions if a firefight does break out, so they feel pretty confident sending some guards in there on a rescue mission to search the main cell block looking for the hostages. The guards go in under the cover of the Marines, they manage to find the 5 wounded guards, and they get them evacuated. So that's
And the
great.
one dead
By the
guard.
next morning, things have just gotten way simpler for Buckner and the Marines because now there's no hostages in the situation, and they have a rough idea of where the perpetrators are holed up, inside of D block. Now at this point, some of the higher ranking guards are pretty pissed off that the Marines are there at all. It kind of makes them look bad, like, oh, you can't handle the situation, you can't do your job. So they're all in their feelings about it, and they're requesting the warden lets the guards go in there with guns and take out the convicts. The warden, on the other hand, doesn't really care about the guards' feelings. He doesn't want anybody else to get hurt, so he goes to Buckner and is like, okay, maybe if we let them know that the Marines are here or that we have superior fire.
I know. I'm in here. I didn't sign up for this shit. They're all sitting there like, I'm in here. Solitary. Can't interact with anyone. These fuckers. Just want peace. I don't want to deal with people. I'm happy in myself. Fuckers are just. Oh, if they don't kill these fuckers, then I'm gonna spend another like week in the hole, but that's fine. That's what they're thinking. A few of them are probably sitting there like, can I make a shiv out of anything right now?
Firepower, that's going to scare them and we can convince them to surrender. So from here, the Marines go, they capture the West Gun Gallery, they kind of open fire in the cell block, just letting them know like, hey, we have machine guns, we have Marines, we have superior firepower, you're not getting out of this. And then they come around with a megaphone and are like, you know, hey, you should surrender now. Give up your guns. This shit is over. And Coy responds back, come get us, motherfucker.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
At this point, the warden just kind of looks over at Buckner and is like, do your thing. Buckner pulls everybody out of the West Gun Gallery. The East Gun Gallery is going to be protected by that wall because it's not in part of D block, and D block is completely cordoned off because it's the isolation unit. From here, remember, Buckner's been studying the blueprints this entire time. He knows where everything is inside of this prison. He has his Marines go up on the roof of D block and drop tear gas grenades down into the ventilation system to pump tear gas into all of D block. Then he has the Marines.
Oh yeah, those guys that are stuck in solitary are like, these fuckers, if these guys are alive when I get out, they're not going to be, or they're going to wish they had been killed, because I am going to, I feel bad for those, the solitary confinement guys that didn't want anything to do with it, and now they're in the middle of this shit going, I get it, I'm a horrible person. I didn't sign up for this shit. I didn't even want to be part of this. And now I'm getting tear gas. Oh, oh, please. Oh, please. Please be murdered by these. Actually, no. Don't be murdered by these Marines. Please survive, because I want a piece of you now. Like, I'm not with them. Yeah, we're not with. We're not with. It's gonna get worse, yeah.
Bazookas, and they're gonna fire bazookas through the windows into D block. At which point, the warden, being an epic party pooper, steps in and is like, "That's too much. No bazookas." And Buckner's like, "Fine, we won't use bazookas." The warden fucks off. Buckner then immediately turns around to his guys, is like, set up the mortars. But sir, didn't the warden just say no explosions? No, the warden said no bazookas. He didn't say shit about mortars. This entire mission is malicious compliance. Now hurry up and get the mortars set up before he comes back. So D-block.
All right, we're gonna blow up D-block. Don't worry, we got this. No bazookas. Oh, get the mortars. Yay.
already presumably
Even
full of tear
better.
gas and everybody's having a bad time, and then the
Yes.
Marines start shelling D Block through the windows. They're shooting rifle grenades, they're shooting machine guns into the windows, doing anything and everything they can to be as annoying as possible. Most of it is completely ineffective fire. It's going right through the window and hitting a massive concrete wall. It's not doing anything other than just the constant concussion of explosions and noise while the guys are in there breathing tear gas. It just sucks. So
AKA, they're breathing tear gas, so they're coughing up. They can't keep their mouths closed because if they keep their mouths closed as the impact hits the wall, even though it's not hitting them, that explosion is a concussive force going through the wall, and that can blow out their eardrums. So they have to keep their mouths open the entire time. At least the mortars. And then furthermore, after with all that, you've got tear gas, you've got indirect loud noises. These two are just like probably hating life, and everyone else that's in D Block that's not part of this is like, I'm gonna murder them. If they don't get killed by these Marines, I'm going to murder them.
why on earth are they doing it if they know it's not going to solve the problem? Well, it's going to persuade the
Just
convicts
the story
to
of
evacuate
loopholes are
D-Block.
all
And
around.
once they
Yes,
evacuate
seriously.
D-Block, there's really only one place they could go because they know that they have control of the East Gun Gallery at this point, and there's only one place to hide that isn't D-Block and isn't in the main cell block, and it's in one of the utility corridors in C Block. So Buckner is betting on the fact that these guys are going to evacuate D Block, and they're going to have to run straight to this utility corridor, dodging bullets the entire time. And then once they get into that utility corridor, they're safe. They're effectively inside of a concrete bunker. The only way in is through the door on the main cell block, and that door leads into basically what amounts to a concrete hallway, and they're going to be standing at the end of it with their guns pointed at that door, and anybody that comes through there is going to get shot. They have a
That's smart, except for this is the Marines, and these are Marines that just got done dealing with Japanese on Guam. Oh, this is going to go. Like, we already got the spoiler of they don't survive this, but thank you for that miscreant, because it is. Thanks for that. That was perfectly timed. Thank you for that, miscreant.
a very narrow choke point. It's a terrific fighting position. It's exactly what anybody that was smart would do. The convicts are going to turn this into their own little miniature Battle of Thermopylae.
From there, we will funnel them into the mountain pass we call the Hot Gates.
The plan works like a charm. Eventually, the convicts decide they got to get the fuck out of D Block. They immediately run to the...
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to do this. I wonder. But yeah, we already know that they're not surviving this, so how do we get to that point? It's going to be bad.
Nearest cell block
How are
C,
you
and
doing,
go
Miss Green?
straight
Hopefully
into
you're
the
doing well.
utility corridor, the only place that's safe. Presumably, the guys in the East Gun Gallery see them run into that utility corridor and notify Buckner. So the plan worked, which raises a question. Why on earth is this the plan? Why would you intentionally force your enemy into the most fortified, defendable position possible before you go and try to take them out? Because now, presumably, the only way to go in there and kill these guys is to walk right into the narrow choke point that they're pointing guns at, and some of your guys are going to wind up getting killed. Which is why Buckner has an alternative plan. You gotta remember, this guy just got back from Guam and his entire job was killing Japanese soldiers inside of bunkers, okay? If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, this guy has had time to develop and refine some very creative ways to kill the enemy. Once Buckner gets word that his plan worked and they're in the utility corridor, he orders his guys to quit the mortar fire, but keep some suppressing fire from the machine guns going into D Block, just so they don't double back. He then grabs a bunch of Marines, tells them to grab all the grenades and rifle grenades that we have, and heads up to the roof.
Wait. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
Now, as you can see from the map, the C Block utility corridor pretty much runs the length of C Block, which is basically the length of the prison. So once they get up on the roof, they measure out where this utility corridor is approximately at, and then they proceed to beat, drill, and chisel 5 holes running the length of this C block utility corridor. They then proceed to grab rifle grenades, put them on their rifles, shove their rifles into the hole, and fire the grenades. And then they keep doing that, firing at all different angles, making sure they cover every square inch of this utility corridor. And they do this until they run out of rifle grenades. Now, are the
I can see it. All right, we're in this corridor. We got this. They open that door. We can just shoot them. It's fine. We've got this advantage. We got this advantage. It's kind of dark in here. Yeah, it's fine. But as soon as that door opens, we'll have some good lighting. We'll be able to see them. Why am I seeing the sun on my hand? Shit. I told you it'd get worse. Yeah. And the Marines are just sitting there shooting rifle grenades at different. I'm pretty sure it was. Light. Why do I see light?
convicts dead at this point? Almost certainly. Are the Marines going to stop? Absolutely not. Now, why would they do that? Well, if I had to bet, I would say the official excuse is going to be, we wanted to make sure we were thorough. We wanted to make sure we got the job done. In reality, I've been around grunts long enough to know exactly what went through their head, and that thought was, I'm not about to carry 500 frag grenades back down from the roof. We're using these bitches, so I don't have to carry them back and turn them back in at base. From here, the Marines proceed to...
I also just believe in there's no kill like overkill. So have at it, boys. They need sunlight that's to get some heavy close to you. That's great. I brought these. I'm using all of them exactly.
To lower frag grenades down the holes on wires with strings connected to the pins, and once they lower it down far enough, they yank the string, pull the pin, so it's an air burst, and you get a full 360 explosion instead of it just detonating on the ground. Which is hilarious, because like I already said, the convicts are probably already dead, but if they're not, they're just looking up at these holes with grenades getting lowered right on top of them like... So that goes on for a little while, then they just start pitching grenades down these holes until they run out. And then they throw the shape charges and pretty much every other piece of explosive ordnance they have down the holes as well, because, well, you know, I don't want to carry that shit back with me. And earlier when I said 500 grenades, I was not exaggerating. They literally put 500 grenades into that utility corridor. Is that overkill? Absolutely. But you know what? Overkill is underrated. They went up there, they killed the bad guys, they made the world a better place, and now they're back.
Yeah, it's C block. The utility corridor of C block is no longer going to exist. I need that shirt. Overkill is underrated. Cease to exist, exactly.
Pack is a little bit lighter for the journey home. Everybody wins. From here, Buckner goes back, has another little meeting with the warden. Warden basically comes out and asks him, are they dead? And Buckner, I'm paraphrasing here, responds with, if there's any convicts left, they're definitely corpses.
I'm pretty tired. I think I'll go home now.
And then Buckner grabs all his stuff, grabs his Marines, they board the assault boat, and they leave. Then the guards grab their guns, they go into the main cell block, and the entire prison is flooded. There is water and sewage everywhere. Gotta remember, the Marines just blew up the utility corridor. That's where all the water pipes and all the sewage pipes and all the electrical and all the important infrastructure stuff for the prison is located. So presumably, that's all junk now. There's both literal and metaphorical shit everywhere. They make their way to the utility corridor. They don't really know what happened, so they open the door and they just open fire into this corridor for a little while. Then they wait. There's no return fire. Okay, these guys must be dead. They find what's left of the 3 remaining convicts, and that is the end of the Battle of Alcatraz.
What is left? So that's why they were carried off completely covered, because they had an arm here, a leg here, a foot here. They probably had to piece them all together. Let's just make it look like it's still a body while we carry them out, so people don't think that it was cruel. I mean, they're convicts. Yeah, but let's make it look like there's at least a body. I don't think this foot goes with this body. It doesn't matter. Dude, that's a way bigger foot than this foot. Find the other one that's relatively close to it. Be careful, Kara.
Obviously, there's a lot of interviews and interrogations that went on afterwards trying to figure out everything that happened. And during those interviews and interrogations, the other 3 men that did participate to some degree in this
Gonna need a
riot
mop
were
and
found
squeeze you,
out,
yeah.
and 2 of them, Thompson and Shockley, both received the death penalty. Clarence Carnes, on the other hand, managed to avoid the death penalty because some of the guards that were shot inside that cell did testify that Clarence Carnes tried to prevent Kretzner from shooting them, so he managed to avoid the death penalty because of that. He did, however, spend the rest of his life in prison until he passed away in 1988 from AIDS. How you get AIDS while you're in prison, I have no idea.
I may not have a brain, gentlemen, but I have.
He had a unfortunate crossing with a butt pirate.
Have an idea.
Other interesting trivia fact is that the most famous Alcatraz escape was in 1962. This is the one that the movie Escape from Alcatraz is based on. And both in real life and in the movie, the convicts managed to escape their cells by digging through weakened concrete, and it is believed that that concrete was weakened because of all of the water damage caused by the Marines and their grenades.
Oops.
Did I do that?
Now, where does this leave the Marine Corps as far as are they going to get disbanded or defunded? Well, the Battle of Alcatraz lasted from May 2nd to May 4th of 1946. And like I already said at the beginning of the video, General Vandegrift, the Commandant of the Marine Corps at the time, is already set to testify in front of the Senate in 2 days on May 6th. And on May 6th, when he steps into that Senate hearing, Marines take over Alcatraz from armed convicts is on the front page of every newspaper in America. He has all the positive PR he could ever ask for. And with that, the United States Marine Corps solidifies and reaffirms its place and its belonging in the United States military, and that is a story of the Battle of Alcatraz when they called in the Marines to take care of a prison riot. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. Links to both of those over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out. Unpopular opinion, this story deserves a movie way more than the 1962 Escape does.
Yeah, that does. It does. I could just see it too. You have it done. I know exactly how to do the movie too. You start the movie off. You follow like a little bit of one of the convicts as he finishes his trial and gets sent to Alcatraz, and you follow the prisoners the entire time. But you don't make the prisoners look like the good guys, like people would nowadays would make the movie. Oh, well, they were just misunderstood. No. You make them who they were, how they were. You treat them like they are bad people and everything, and you follow it all the way through up into. You see the one guy pull out the pistol, and he shoots the 6 guards. And then he turns, he's like, we're in it now. And then you just cut and you go right to the Marines. So your halfway point is right there. And then you pick up, starting with the Marines, and you go from there. And just that ending scene where it kind of splits between the two. And you just start watching the rain of grenades. Or like, we've got this in the rain. You see the first grenade drop down and explode. And they go, and then it just. You shower that scene with like the grenade fire and the Marines up top. Yeah. Worst of the worst were sent to Alcatraz for reasons. Oh, that was such a good one. This is why Nick's so good about storytelling. He tells it in a way that just keeps you hooked. He has like the low points, so you're like, okay, you have your lulls, and then picks up, and then lulls and picks up. You're constantly kept hooked. So, which is great. I love it. Oh my god. What's next? Well, something I've been seeing on it's 2 weeks old, and I keep forgetting to do this. We're gonna be watching branbon bererbba. about a guy uses a machine gun in self-defense. Yep, we're gonna be talking guns. Are really good storytellers, Mr. Ballin. Okay. And Yarn Hub. I don't know why I said why Arn Hub, because it did it weird. It didn't bring the Y with the rest of Yarn. That's weird. Mr. Ballin. I'm pretty sure I've watched Ballin. So I'm pretty sure I have, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So, but yeah, we're gonna watch Brandon Herrera. What I say? Branbon bererbba. So I called him. Does creepy stories? Ooh, nice. But this came out a couple weeks ago, and I haven't actually gotten to watch it. But I used a machine gun in self-defense shooting. That's kind of based. Not gonna lie, kind of based. So let's check out what Brandon's got for us. Want to do more Brandon stuff too. Want to just do more of everyone. That just sounds dirty. Never mind. I want to watch more of other people. Yeah, that's what. The forecast is. Brr. Yeah, exactly. True. Very true. If it's what you're most. Use it. Use what you got. Use what you're good with. Anyways.
Every American has an unalienable right to self-defense. And thanks to the Second Amendment, every American has the right to defend themselves with a firearm, as the right to keep and to bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, where things...
Which is very true, which any of the laws that states pass, like a lot of them break that constantly. I'm not going to get into it. I will go on a tirade about the Second Amendment and how it's been neutered and butchered by states all across the nation. Like, some states are better and are a lot more free, but still have restrictions. And then we've got a whole bunch of stupid laws and acts. And I just want my fucking machine guns. Let me have my machine guns with no restrictions, okay? I know they're expensive. Kind of have to have money to own a machine gun because it's expensive to buy them and own the ammo. Let me just own them. I'm sound of mind. I'm not going to do something stupid. My state is open carry, but we'll see, because we might that the latest law requires if you have a magazine-fed weapon that you have to buy a permit. You have to have a permit to buy the gun. Just stupid. But I can still go get a revolver and carry around on my hip. Or the Keltec. Keltec has a clip fed, which I actually want to buy that and pick it up. And when they're like, well, you have to sign this. No, I don't. That's a clip fed. That's not magazine fed. Just to piss them off. Just to loophole them. Clip fed, not magazine fed. I don't have to have a permit to buy this one. And like literally it's like go through the show. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to get heated and yell at my state and give away everything about where I live. So not just like rough areas, but like, yeah. Anyways.
have gotten a little weird in the past is when sometimes the firearm that gets used isn't exactly what you'd think of when you think self-defense weapon. What happens if you were acting in self-defense, defending your own life,
that's
but the weapon available to you is a machine gun?
It's a machine gun!
Now, while that might sound like a fun hypothetical question,
oh my god, I need to find that video of like the military recruits and they're learning how to shoot the M2. And the guy's like bursting with the M2. He's like, ba ba ba, ba ba ba, ba ba ba, ba ba ba, like he's bursting with it. And the instructor's like, it's a machine gun. Fucking lay into it. Just go. Because with the M2s, you don't want burst fire them. You don't want to hold it down for a brief second, let go. Hold it down for a brief second, let go. Hold it down for a brief second, let go. You want to actually hit the buttons and just go. It's not an A10 Warthog where you have to burst, because if you don't burst, you stall the plane and fall out of the air, because it's just a flying bathtub with wings and a gun. Yeah, it's all Medusa. That's all you do with the Medusa. You just... I'm out of ammo. Reload.
It is a real thing that did happen. And in my opinion, it's one of the most interesting self-defense incidents and subsequent court battles that nobody even seems to know about. So, to quote a friend...
Hey, Nightway, yes, I do too. Let me drift with this thing. I could see that. I'm pretty sure there's video footage of an A10 Warthog drifting while firing its gun. That'd be hilarious.
Today we're gonna talk about that one time that a guy legally used a machine gun.
Did you try to...
We're gonna talk about that one time that a guy legally used a machine gun in self-defense.
Brandon, you don't need to raise your voice. You just need to be quick about it. You just gotta sit there and go. Today we're gonna talk about yeah, your voice is naturally going to pitch up, but you don't have to go up like that. You just gotta let it flow. And everyone will know you're making fun of Nick.
And what the hell happened in the court case to follow. This is the Gary Fadden incident. Meet Gary Fadden.
God, we're not even
Gary
like 50 seconds into this video.
For a renowned firearm manufacturing company, Heckler & Koch, or HK.
Hey, HK.
German efficiency, and also because in America, Koch is funny. On the night of February 24th, 1984, he and his fiancée were driving their Ford pickup.
Speaking of HK, we are going to be getting the HK SP7 soon. And if you don't know what that is the civilian use MP7, which means it will have its selector fires will be safe and single. So it'll have a single shot, and it's an MP7 using the same ammo type as the MP7, which is 5.7. Pretty much it's an MP7 just single shot. Which also means I can put a force reset trigger in it. Retail, they're looking at like, I think if you're a dealer, it's going to be like $2,600 to buy them, and then for retail, it's going to be like $3,600 to $4,200, which I would gladly pay to own an MP7 versus $28,000 and have to have all the fucking licenses and all that stuff. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's 5.7. I think that one's it's literally an MP7 or not. But if they do have 9, that'd be cool. That'd be a nice one. But yeah, I think it's going to be 5.7. Just means they need to produce a lot more 5.7 because 5.7 is fucking expensive. An AC1. Oh, I know. I've seen it.
Along Route 50 in Virginia. While they were driving, Gary was cut off by 2 guys on motorcycles and had to slam on his brakes to avoid an accident. Shortly thereafter, though, Gary noticed a shitty
that's
pickup truck
true.
was following
It's just gonna be
him.
expensive.
One of them was hanging out the window of that pickup truck, waving for him to pull over. It wasn't long after that he realized the guy that was waving for him to pull over was brandishing a knife, and the driver, a handgun. He turned to his fiancée and said, "We've got a bit of a problem here."
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
He keeps coming up in both Nick and Brandon's videos. What the fuck? He's gonna be a guest soon.
Which, understatement of the year. In retrospect, it's a little bit like, he's right behind me, isn't he? This is probably a good time to mention that Gary was also
counting.
in his own truck.
That is counting, isn't it?
HK.
Holy shit, that is. I'm a fucking retard. You would think I would know who that is because I've seen him multiple times, but I'm apparently just I'm in my own little bubble.
BP-70Z, and most important to the story, a Ruger AC-556. This is the select fire version of the Ruger Mini 14. And yes, you probably recognize it as the A-Team gun. I pity the fool who fucks with Gary while he's holding one of these, but that's exactly what happened. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, if you ask anybody who works at a gun company, they'll tell you you'll probably end up with a safe full of guns, some from your company, and others just because you're autistic. Gary purchased his Ruger AC-556 as a transferable machine gun. And since these events transpired in 1984, that means the 1986 Hughes Amendment had not passed.
I could go on about the Hughes Amendment and how it's a piece of shit amendment and how we should burn it to the ground, but I'm not going to do that. Just note that the Hughes Amendment fucks us. We don't get machine guns. Just let us have our fucking machine guns, please. Get rid of the Hughes Amendment. You're doing it right by making the tax stamp on short barrel to get short barrels for rifles and suppressors of $0. Just get rid of the NFA in general, but at least we're a step closer to doing that.
Meaning pretty much all machine guns were transferable at this point. To buy a machine gun was literally just the price of a tax stamp away, as no different than buying an SBR or a suppressor or whatever. Or at least the way it was before the big beautiful bill took the NFA tax stamp down from $200 to $0, which really makes you wonder why it's even considered constitutional to have the NFA. I mean, the only reason they deemed it constitutional in 1934 is because the Supreme Court decided that Congress wasn't just registering the guns, they were registering the tax. Because Congress has the ability to levy tax, but not regulate the guns. But now that there's no tax, fuck it. Different time. Anyhow, adjusted for inflation, that $200 tax stamp back in '84 would have been like $650 today. Taking a moment of silence for the US dollar.
We'll recover.
Anyway, back to the pursuit.
We'll
When Gary
recover.
came to a stop at a red light, the two men jumped out of the Chevy and rushed Gary's truck. They tried to rip open his doors, but Gary just floored it through the red light and got away. Dumb and Dumber decided the best thing to do was to jump back into their truck and proceed to continue the chase. Now, let's put yourself in Gary's shoes for a moment. You're jamming the gas pedal to the floor. Your truck will not give you more than 95 miles an hour because it's a shitbox Ford. I own one, I can say that. I have the pass. Your fiance is in the passenger seat, probably freaking the fuck out because two bikers with guns are chasing you, which, I mean, valid. You have no ability to reach out for help because this is long before everybody had a cell phone, and the gas tank.
Yeah, and like the best way to put it is if you had a cell phone, you were paying by the minute, and it wasn't cheap. It was like $1 a minute. Not to mention to buy a cell phone back then in '84, you could get one. '84 was the first year you could buy a cell phone, and it was like, I mean, it was the price of an iPhone now. It was like $1,200 for a cell phone that you had to pay per minute. So you didn't really use it. It was just a nice piece. Most likely you had a pager, and that was about it. And even then, that was expensive. And that, again, that was still like $800 in 1980s money, which is equivalent to like $2,000, $3,000 now. And you were lucky to get, so yeah, exactly. You were lucky if you had service because it was only certain major cities, LA, New York, Miami, and Washington, D.C., that really had service for them. If you're in the Midwest, most of like anywhere else that wasn't like a major city, you probably didn't have any signal.
Won't last forever. But what you do have is a fully automatic rifle sitting on your dashboard that you have literally never shot before. You know where the safety is and how to load it, but that's about it. And you have zero idea if the selector is set to semi-auto, 3-round burst, or full auto. Once again,
in the business, we call this foreshadowing.
If you want a chance to win up to $500 in Bass Pro gift cards, then stay tuned as we thank our sponsor, Trophy Hunter. First, download Trophy Hunter. Second, unlock Arena 4,
Yeah,
where you get your first
Nightway,
unlock
I'm-
spin. Then you can unlock Arena 7, where you get your
I'm in the
second
middle
spin.
of the nation as
Copy
well,
your player
so
ID, and then go spin the wheel
there are
over
days
at
that
trophyhunterchallenge.com.
I have
Legit won a
bad
couple of Bass Pro gift
connection,
cards. The
but
biggest
I
one was
also know that they're
$100,
working
which will
on
be going
stuff.
towards things. They're giving over
By they, I
$30,000
mean,
away in Bass
well,
Pro
you
gift
know
cards.
who.
2 hunters, same target, 3 bullets, winner takes
Hi,
all.
Cat.
They have over 20 rifles with
You're
real
being
stat
very
differences,
needy.
17
You're being good
different
tech
arenas
support.
with
Thank
different
you.
terrains like jungles, forests, deserts, you name it. Download the game and use my code, and you can get some extra Beretta bullets. And again, unlock Arenas 4 and 7 to get 2 free spins. Every spin wins something. This giveaway ends June 30th, so download today and let me know what you won. And of course, before we get back to Gary Fadden, as always, I'd like to take a moment to thank the Sonoran Desert Institute for being a friend of the channel. If you want to get
Yep,
started
exactly.
with gunsmithing and
I
weapons
need to fix
technology and
that,
you're not sure where to
but
turn,
they still look
maybe
good.
consider checking out sdi.edu using the links down in the description and in the pinned comment. Now, obviously, using a weapon and lethal force for self-defense is a last resort. But at this point, Gary had been trying to flee for 17 miles, running stoplights.
Yeah, at this point,
desperately
that's
trying
like
to get away
legal
from his
defense.
attackers. He also couldn't find a single police officer he could flag down, and again, this is before the age of the cell phone. They finally rounded a corner to Chantilly Road,
You're in the south-ish.
the HK factory where Gary worked. He decided
Where it's a
quickly
little
that he could
more,
use a security card to
you
get
have
through
a
the
lot more
security
free
gate of the
reign.
facility, and then from there try to find a phone where he could call the police for help. This plan fell apart instantly. While the security gate took its sweet-ass time to open, the pursuers in the Chevy caught up. One of the men in the truck jumped out and began to approach Gary on foot. At this point, it was abundantly clear that Gary was not going to find a phone in time. This was probably going to be a fight. So he did the only thing there was left for him to do. Gary grabbed the Ruger AC-556 and told his fiancée to get down on the floorboards of the truck. He threw open the door and stepped out of the vehicle. Visibly holding the rifle, he shouted, "Stop or I'll shoot." I think it's also important to note at this point, Gary's a 6'8" man holding the fucking Mr. T gun. One would think this might cause someone to pause and reconsider their choices.
And the best.
Now, just a reminder from the sources that we read, Gary had never fired this gun before. Which of the fire selector settings is it on? Semi? Full auto? What's the rate of fire like? How's the recoil impulse? These are all things he doesn't know. He's going in completely blind. All he knows at this point is that that rifle is the best chance he has at keeping him and his fiancée safe. He decided to point the muzzle upward and fire a warning shot. This is also
I feel like this is going to tell him exactly what he does. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Always train people. Yep, always train. Yeah, shooting upwards, not always the smartest thing to do. It really isn't the smartest thing. Gravity does, affect bullets. Insane.
also the moment he found out exactly what selector position it was in. The rifle was set to full auto and it popped off 9 rounds in one burst. Shockingly unfazed, this dickhead kept closing the distance, a knife in each hand. He then shouted, "Fuck you and your high-powered rifle. I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker." Darwin Award.
Yeah,
At this
seriously.
point, Gary gets a sight picture on his assailant, squeezes the trigger, and stitches him with a 6-round burst. This string of fire instantly kills the man we would later learn was Billy Too Loose Hamilton, a biker whose toxicology report would later indicate he had a BAC of 0.19 at the time. For reference, in the United States, the legal limit before you are too intoxicated to drive is 0.08. But all 6 rounds struck him, one of them even.
Oh no, yeah. By that time in '84, yeah, we had finally, because I think it was like the late '70s, early like 78, 79, 80, 81, 82 when we had a national average for blood alcohol content. Yeah, I want to say that's about when we had it. So I think the national average at that time probably would have been 1.0 or 0.1. So 10% or yeah, 0.1%. And
blowing out a piece of his spine after his body twisted once the initial rounds impacted. So it is completely accurate to say that a man named Too Loose came after another man who then proceeded to blow his back out.
Remember to lube up, children. Meth sure is something. I know, right? Yeah, they seriously do. Oh.
See, this is why I could never be a reporter. Now, instead of attempting to retreat at this point, the driver of the Chevy instead decided to run him over. Gary then dived behind cover to escape being, hit by a fucking truck. The pickup then stopped, and the driver then screamed, "Fuck you. You killed one of our brothers. You shot him, motherfucker." Undoubtedly deep in fight or flight mode by this point, Gary once again leveled his Ruger AC-556, got a sight picture on his assailant. But before he squeezed the trigger, he noticed the man turned away in an effort to go hide his handgun back in his truck. This is when Gary noticed the lights and sirens. The police had finally arrived, and now it was up to them to figure out
what the hell happened here.
They learned that the driver was another biker that went by the name of Papa Zoot. Officers
Run that back. Hold on. Wait, what?
learned that the driver was another biker that went by the name of Papa Zoot. Officers found 2 loaded handguns.
The 80s. Papa Zoot probably sounded really cool back in the 80s. It's the 80s. I would never want to be called that.
Guns in the truck, one of them being a .357 revolver. Here's the catch on
The
that.
fuck is it? Which
That
I know,
.357
right?
Magnum revolver had 3 live rounds and 3 empty casings still in the cylinder. There was a spent pile of brass in the truck and an open bag of ammunition on the seat, all seeming to point to the fact that the bikers were shooting at him. Now, Gary claims he never heard any of the shots, but I think the evidence speaks for itself. Now, with all the details, this seems like an open-shut self-defense case, but that didn't stop Gary from being arrested that night and charged with first-degree murder. His family did raise $60 grand in bail money. Gary hired Jerry Traynor, a well-respected DC area attorney. Traynor could see this case for what it was, a self-defense shooting. But while it was self-defense, there was no legal precedent for a case like this.
First and foremost, though, I do need to bring this up. First-degree murder, that requires intent. Like, even in the 80s, you can't, like, first-degree murder means you had pre-planned to go out and murder this man. Second degree is murder of passion. Like, it just came, like, blah, blah, I get the chance to kill this guy. I want to kill this man. And I get to do it now. And all I've got is a knife. So fuck it. I'm stabbing him. First degree is, all right, this is how I'm going to do this, blah, blah. I'm going to lure him over here. We're going to talk. And then I'm just going to stab him. That's first degree. So, yeah, our legal system is very drunk.
It was clear that by the letter of the law, Gary had acted in self-defense. But what would a jury think? Out the gate, Traynor was able to get the charges reduced down to second-degree murder.
That makes more sense.
Then to trial. Now, this was no ordinary trial. I mean, this got very high profile very quickly, as you can imagine. The courthouse even made all in attendance go through a metal detector, which is pretty unusual, especially for 1984. The Fairfax County Sheriff had it on good authority that there were going to be some planned disruptions, and one prosecution witness even testified that Fadden would be shot if he walked out of that courtroom. Papa Zoot, you remember the other biker, even swore a blood oath that he was going to kill
blind drunk,
him.
yeah,
He even
seriously.
picked up a shiny new .30-06 to try to do the job. And partially due to this media frenzy, the prosecution smelled blood in the water. Initially, Gary was vilified by the prosecution for shooting him in the back. The press, of course, not only picked up on this point, but the fact that Gary used a fully automatic weapon. It's reported that the prosecution was waving the AC-556 all over the courtroom, much like the prosecutor from the Kyle Rittenhouse case. It was
That threw me. That pissed me off so much. That case pissed me off so much. Not like their evidence and stuff like that. Whatever. That's one thing. But when the prosecution grabbed the gun and they're showing it to the jury and to the people that were in the courtroom, and they were just like people's heads looking right down the barrel and everything. I'm like, oh my god, no, you don't. And like finger in the trigger well and You're like, yeah, well, you didn't have a magazine. You don't. No, that's breaking 2 rules. You don't do that. If you're on a showcase, this is what he did, and you pull up the gun and you put it to your shoulder. You point it towards a wall where you know there's no one at, and you're like, bam, okay. And you never put your finger in the trigger well, because even though you think it's unloaded, it might not be. I know it's in the courtroom, but who knows? Maybe they never cleared out. There was a round still in the chamber. You accidentally pulled the trigger and you killed a jury member. Now you're up for trial. I know, right?
It's clear that the prosecution's primary legal strategy was not the facts of the case, but instead the fact that Gary had used a machine gun to defend himself. Immediately after the prosecution was done flagging the courtroom, the judge then stepped in and reminded the jury that the type of weapon used does not affect the validity of a self-defense claim, which is both legally accurate and based. Traynor claimed that Gary was a trustworthy and law-abiding member of the community who was terrorized by the 2 bikers. He characterized Papa Zoot and Toulouse as long-haired, bearded bikers that were prone to violence. And if I could just jump in for a moment, I believe this claim is heavily supported by the fact that they decided to chase a man and his fiancée 17 miles while firing guns at them, all while fucking hammered.
Not a great plan.
Anyhow, he argued that Gary had acted in self-defense to
He thinks he's called, I know, right?
Terrorism comparable to anything you've seen in the movies or on TV. Gary's attorney Traynor then produced 2 expert witnesses that can actually talk about self-defense shootings because, frankly, they had been there and done that. John Farnham and Massad Ayub were 2 of the leading firearm training experts of their day. This would be like if Travis Haley was called to testify in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. But Farnham and Ayub never got a chance to testify because they didn't have to. The prosecution was doing such a flawless job of fucking up their own case that Traynor decided that they didn't even need to appear. The prosecution also apparently correctly identified how bad they were fucking it up. They even got desperate enough that they offered to drop Gary's charge down to manslaughter. Gary told them to get fucked. It's not a direct quote, but hey, creative licenses. When it came time for the jury to find a verdict, the judge told them that Gary should be found innocent if they believe that the bikers, and I quote, intended and endeavored to take his life and do him great bodily harm. The judge elaborated that in such a case, Gary would have, quote, a right to stand his own ground, repel force with force, and if need be, slot motherfuckers. Okay, that last part's not the quote. Kill his adversary to save his own life. The verdict? The jury found that Gary was acting in self-defense. So despite all the media and political circus around this case, Gary was free. The prosecution began absolutely crashing out, even screaming at the judge, "You let a murderer loose." Very professional behavior. I'm shocked they didn't win. Justice for Toulouse. It had, however, been a very expensive trial. The bill for Gary's legal fees totaled up to $45,000, which is about 140 grand in 2026 inflation funny money. But luckily, Gary didn't have to fight this entirely out of his own pocket, because HK actually stepped up and covered half of all of his legal bills. It's up to you to decide whether HK did this because it was the right thing to do and they were protecting one of their guys, or if it's because Gary was an HK employee who basically shot a guy in their driveway. Would HK have done this if Gary had shot a guy with that AC-556 10 feet off the property? Who knows? This is either based HK or cover your ass HK. But either way, they did help Gary out. We do know afterwards, however, there was some drama at HK. In fact, the HK USA CEO was told by a VP, quote, "It's either him or me," in reference to
both.
Gary. Was this over the shooting or
yeah,
not?
100%
Who knows?
both.
Could have just been internal politics. Either way, Gary did end up leaving for a job at Bererbba. Also, I just want to make this clear. Obviously, this doesn't reflect on anybody still at HK, as this incident was 40 years ago. It's a safe assumption that
yeah, it's a lethal. Yeah. What was the quote? Fat electrician, Nick, the fat electrician, was talking to a doctor. He's like, you just see a lot more wounds from 5.56 rounds and blah, blah, and it's how it's scary. He's like, well, yeah, that's because it's a survivable gunshot. When people got shot by someone with 30-06, they usually didn't make it to the hospital to be saved. It was usually the morgue, because getting shot by 30-06, which is used to take down elk and bigger animals, shoot a 160-pound to 180-pound person with that, they kind of don't keep living anymore. 5.56, it sounds scary. 5.56, oh, that's scary. It's 22. The bullet itself is a little bit bigger than a 22 caliber round, like overall, and it's a through and through weapon. That's why, like, you want scary, you go 300 blackout, slightly bigger than 5.56, but its entire purpose is to go in and dump all of its energy and be a subsonic in and stop. Like, pierce through, stop. Oh, now you've got an open wound that's not going through and through, and now you got multiple. That's kind of what 300 blackouts for. Not good for going through. Doesn't have a lot of range. It definitely doesn't have the range of 5.56, but it's a little bit scarier, but it's still not as scary as 30-06. 30-06 will end someone really easy. .762 by 63, yeah. Yep, exactly, Rudy. 300 win, yeah, 300 win mag. That's another one to just end all, be all someone.
That anybody that was at a decision-making level at HK has either since died, retired, or is being preserved, Mr. House style, in a bunker beneath the HK factory. However, it's also probably safe to say that HK was probably not thrilled with all the media coverage and everything involved in the case. Turns out there might actually be such a thing as bad publicity. Ask me how I know. In refreshingly good news, Gary actually got his AC 556 back. This sounds reasonable for somebody who was found innocent, but sadly that's not always the case. And getting that particular rifle back was nothing to sneeze at, considering that a transferable Ruger AC 556 nowadays can sell for upwards of 20 grand. That being said, he later gave that gun to a friend who had supported him during the trial, stood by Gary even through all the media bullshit. When he gave his friend the gun that he had used to defend himself and his fiancée, he had embedded a brass plaque in the stock.
Hold on, let me see. It's like the story of when they wanted to. Yeah, which is, yeah. Let's reinforce where things aren't vital type thing, Most planes can survive this. Let's not reinforce where the pilot is, the thing that's going to keep the plane in the air, the fuel tanks, stuff like that. Yeah.
Simply read, because you understand. Despite the financial help from HK, it took Gary 8 years to pay off the legal debt. It would be completely understandable for somebody in Gary's position to just be jaded about the entire experience, but not Gary. In regards to the incident, Gary was quoted as saying, "I've cherished every morning I've gotten up because I earned every moment of my life. I fought for it." From what we've been able to find, we believe Gary is still alive and well. We did attempt to contact him for this video just to set a few things straight, but with no success, which is why any personal information we were able to find out about Gary, we omitted from the video for privacy reasons, and I ask you to respect his privacy as well. We have to remember this entire video is about what may well be the worst day of his life. So if you were in the same situation, I'm sure you'd want the option of having your privacy too. Gary, on the off chance you are watching, please feel free to reach out, especially if I did fuck something up along the way of telling the story. I've been known to do that from time to time. Nobody's perfect. Except Ryan Gosling. But one last important note. I want to take a page out of Gary's book. I own this fully transferable Ruger AC 556, a machine gun that's legal to own for any civilian in the United States. Any non-felon who can have an NFA item anyway. Much like Gary gave his to his friend, I think this should belong to one of you, who have also stood by me, also through the media bullshit. I'm in the middle of fighting to get into Congress, and one of the reasons why I'm doing that
he's going to get
so
in.
I can continue
I
to
feel like
protect the
he's
Second
going to
Amendment against people like the folks that tried to throw Gary in jail for defending his own life. Every $5 you spend toward the campaign is more ammunition in that fight. TV, radio, mailers, But by the end of next month, this gun will belong to one of our donors.
Ooh.
Why? Because you understand. As far as facts of the case that were used in this video,
I need to
we relied
donate to
heavily on
Brandon's
news
campaign.
articles at the time.
Again.
Article from Masad Ayub himself, who you may remember as being one of the expert witnesses that was about to be used in the trial, forum posts, and so on. So if I got certain details on this case a little wrong, I apologize for that, but we attempted to take all the facts that were out there and compile the most comprehensive telling of this story. Because, and I hope you agree, I feel like this is a story that really needs to be told. Because as Americans, from day one, we've not only fought for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but also for the right to defend those rights. But seriously, let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. We will be doing a dedicated range video for the Ruger AC556 because I've got some spicy opinions about this platform and really the entire family tree of the M14. But as for this gun, let's just say there's definitely a reason that I bought it. Be sure to check to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the fun stuff we've got coming up. So if you have ideas for videos like this, let me know down in the comments, or if you never want to see one again, let me know that too. That's also valuable. I appreciate you watching to the end, and I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next one. Thanks.
I won't mind it. I mean,
The prosecution.
See, this is why he's going to be a good congressman. He stumbles over his own words, and he's an actually decent person. No, it's a machine gun I would like to own, even if it's not the best. At least it's transferable, and I don't have to spend $40,000 for a transferable. You know, words are hard. All right. Yay, machine guns. We've got a few other things, but give me a minute. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Let me make fun of Hassan for a few minutes while I use the bathroom. I'll be right back, everyone. Okay, good start playing.
You preach from the throne with a fist in the air, but the tag on your sleeve says you don't really care. Fake red prophet, silver spoon rage, sell the revolution from a luxury cage.
You talk class, war with the camera on, design a fit while preaching to the broke. Say eat the rich while you feast with the grin, selling guilt, cash in checks on a sin. Fake socialist in a crimson disguise, blood red slogans, capitalist eyes. You don't want justice, you want the stage. Velvet revolution built on clickbait rage.
How many graves does the red flag hide? History screams there's blood inside. Red flags, gold chains, same old lie with a brand new name. Fake saints, false flame, throne built on other people's pain.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I do have this. I'm kind of back. But I just keep forgetting. Yeah. Oh, what the hell is it? So this song, let me turn it up a little bit more. This is called Red Flags, Gold Chains, Supernatural. This is directly actually on my Suno. And this is my, this is my anti-Hassan song. Which will actually be on my album that is dropping actually soon. Yeah, this is my anti-Hassan song. Because I like bullying Hassan. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I was able to read that one slightly. YouTube didn't like that, but you know. Oh, very nice, Rudy. He's like literally one of the only people that I've made them mention. I actually won't, because the chance of me like running across them is like slim to none, but he's probably like one of the very few people that it's on site. In fact, he is probably the only person that's on site for me. Welcome back. Welcome back. Just in time. We're about to get into some crime. You're good. All right, let's get into some crime. Let's get into some code blue cam. I cannot speak. Let's get into some code blue cam with a famous YouTuber gets himself and all his crew arrested. Oh, I know who this is, because this guy is an anti-Chibidoki, not Chibidoki, Chibi reviews guy, and like straight up attacks Chibi. Like, you like Chibi or don't like Chibi, I don't care, but Chibi really doesn't do much to get hate. He just exists and then he gets hate, and this guy like legitimately attacked him. That's right. That's who this is. Oh, hey, people's live right now too. Sorry, I was thinking about something. But yeah, this is that guy. Ooh, we get to see his arrest cam. All right, let's check this out. But anyways, guys, this is code blue cam, so let's check it out. Chibi reviews, not Chibidoki. If someone hates Chibidoki, I'm gonna have to question their logic, because that gremlin is the best gremlin ever. Okay.
Good job. Do you really think the charge together? I am a multi-millionaire. I promise you, I can take this as far as you want.
Unhappy. Edge. Both have if I ever get big, if I act like this in public, you have every legal right to shoot. It's fine. Get me out of my misery. Not worth me around. I've lost it. I've lost the way. She does identify. She identifies as a problem. You'd rather get the stick. Oh, did you guys? Oh, Amber's react to this too. Nice.
The famous YouTuber and his crew are arrested. It seems like the end of a harrowing day, but the events that unfolded leave some officers wondering just how far people are willing to go to film content.
I don't understand all this, dude. Something so stupid over some, like, YouTube views.
The dispute begins around 10:49 a.m. on June 22, 2026, when a man named Joe contacts Woodhaven police officers from a local McDonald's in Michigan, claiming that his nephew and his friends are stalking him. His nephew is 30-year-old Kenneth Chambers, who runs the YouTube channel Skeeter Gene, which currently has around 2.5 million subscribers and is well known for doing sting operations. Joe
Okay, sting operations are they catching PDF files? And if they are they the ones that are doing the really fucked up shit where they're like, I get it, yeah. Kind of want to watch them suffer, but like making them crawl through glass and shit like that. Because I get what you're going for. I see where you're going with it, but that's not the way you deal with it. And you don't show it on camera because that's evidence. We can't have evidence. In fact, we can't have witnesses. In fact, you shouldn't be recording at all. Sing them. Get them. Anyways,
tells the officers that Skeeter and his friends have been following him and filming him throughout the day. Over the past several months, Skeeter has amassed millions of views on his channel by posting videos about his uncle. But Skeeter and his friend and collaborator, 25-year-old Gideon Adams, a popular YouTuber best known for high-energy prank videos, social experiments.
Oh, he's one of those social experiments. That just sounds like it can go wrong really fast. But prankster, the last time I watched a prankster, he was pranking someone who's getting ready to deliver DoorDash and got shot. Saying, I don't know. We'll see.
And comedic vlogs before transitioning into true crime content focused on exposing criminals through sting operations have a reason for following Joe wherever he goes.
For the past decade or so, he's been financially exploiting and abusing my
stronger the better. Oh no.
Also his mother. And before that, he was doing the same thing to his grandmother, which is my great-grandmother.
Skeeter explains that despite repeated warnings from the family, his Uncle Joe refused to leave his grandmother's house and had been squatting there.
That might be needed, hon. That might not be needed. Jack and Coke.
For months. So, he decided,
I was gonna go over there and kick his ass myself. But then I thought, wait a minute, I have a YouTube channel, and it's monetized. So I can just expose him on the internet and make some money off of him.
But according to Skeeter, when Joe still refused to vacate the home, he came up with a plan alongside Gideon to solve the problem once and for all. He moved Gideon into his grandmother's house, eventually forcing Joe to leave the property and end up at McDonald's. But according to Joe, the harassment did not stop there. He claims Skeeter, Gideon, and their film crew continued following and filming him at the restaurant.
So now we've got harassment. Because this is a clear-cut sign of harassment at this point. Like, anything you have against him is going to start falling flat in court because now you have a case of harassment against you. And it's a harassment by association because it might not be you directly. It's this person who works with you, who you're known to be connected with. That's harassment. That's harassment by association, which means legally any of this can be used against you. So you gotta be careful what you do.
Ultimately provoking him to call the authorities. Joe goes on to describe how Skeeter and Gideon have been setting up speakers inside the house for a large party in an effort to upset him. Eventually, officers convince Joe to stay somewhere else so Skeeter and his crew can no longer film him. But now, as officers accompany Joe back to the house to help him collect his belongings, they have no idea that the situation is only going to escalate from here.
Hello, officers. Oh, what's good, my man? Yeah.
Just wait down here.
Okay. So, chat, we got a giant speaker here. Bro, the police are giving him a ride. I'm actually dead. Boo!
The police are escorting him out of a situation to keep him safe. And you're technically in his home, so they could be pulling him away for your protection because you don't know if he has a gun or not. I'm just saying, this is starting to sound bad.
But one of the officers soon notices an orange sedan following them as they transport Joe to the Woodhaven Police Department, where a friend is supposed to pick him up. Shortly afterward, Skeeter and Gideon arrive at the station with a large group of people, demanding to speak with Joe. By then, Joe has already left for McDonald's.
They don't have. They could be like, listen, you're a piece of shit, but we need to defuse this situation. We need to do this. We need to do that, blah, blah. They need to try and get the situation under control. So, yeah, they're going to try and separate. The first thing of policing, and this can be in any case, especially like in a case like harassment, in a harassment case like this, or domestic dispute, domestic violence, anything like that. The first rule in policing is to separate the parties. You want the parties separated because you want to make sure you can get both parties away from each other so you can get both sides of the story. Clear, concise stories from both sides. You want that. That's a clear-cut thing you need to do in any situation. If you have one side that is pressuring and constantly coming over and constantly like pushing on the other side, even if the other side is the bad guy in the situation, they are the person who did wrong. If the other side keeps pushing it, doesn't look good for that side. It really doesn't. It actually is a detriment because now there's evidence against that and it could be skewed the other way. It's why it's very like DVs are very high stress situations because you don't know what either side's going to do. You don't know what's going to happen. And harassment cases like this, because this is very much what they're doing. A lot of what they're doing feels like harassment. Feels like it could be like that's kind of that same case that, except for technically the victim who could be the bad guy is still a victim in this case of harassment, is trying to stay away from them and getting pursued even more, which is a very strong case of harassment. And yeah.
Detective tells them that Joe is not at the station. Gideon mentions filing a missing persons report, arguing that officers had taken Joe away from the house.
Yeah, Joe went missing. You guys stole him. Where did they take him, JV?
Which that's a good, like, at this point he's in custody for his well-being. Cops have every right to sit there and go, we don't have to answer your questions. Especially in the police station. They don't have to answer any, and if they see cameras and stuff, they don't have to answer shit. If it's an ongoing investigation, they don't have to say shit to you. Sucks. I know it really sucks, and it sounds like I'm siding with the cops, but that's technically their rights, especially during an active investigation. That's how it goes.
I might have JV like go make like missing people. You know, Joe?
Missing persons?
We're trying to find him. He's hiding from us.
Yeah, he's not in here, I promise.
You promise?
Yes.
You pinky promise?
Yes.
You
I take pictures of him all the time. Pinky promise. Yes, Joe's not in here.
I don't trust her. Is it cool if I check real quick just to make sure?
Yeah.
I can? I'm gonna just check real quick, okay?
It's around 3 p.m. now, over 4 hours since this situation first began, and as an officer arrives at the restaurant to speak with Joe again, he has no idea that Skeeter and Gideon are about to bring the storm right back to McDonald's.
Because like I said, those people come all the time, except this time there was 2 new groups. Okay, and they always come in, they start using the video, and they say, and then they don't want to leave, and then they did come back later.
Yeah. I saw what you posted too, Rudy, and the react. I'm gonna get to those on another day.
And I said, "You can leave." He goes, "No, we don't have cameras." I said, "That's fine." I said, "But you still need to go." And he goes, "Do you treat all customers like that?" I said, "Only the ones that have videos and phones." So he sat outside. So then Joe was in and out. So he said they are outside waiting for him. So I said,
I like how this. He's like. So is this how you treat all the customers? Only ones with cameras. You know what? You know you're on body camera, but he's looking at, because you don't know at that point. Fucking streamers and YouTubers do stupid shit all the time. But like, I don't do IRL streams because I don't want to put myself out there in this type of situation where I could have a situation like that. Not to mention that gives out a lot of information of where I am and everything. Furthermore, I usually carry my gun anyways, so I don't want to have a situation where someone sits there and goes, "Hey kid, fuck you," and comes rushing at me, and next thing I know is there's a murder investigation because some guy rushed me with a knife and I pulled my gun out and shot, and all you see is my face like panic, and you hear bang, bang, bang. Fuck. You know? Yeah.
"You need to stay."
I'll be grabbing them later, Supernatural.
So
I'll have to pull them up.
They finally did leave, but they were in and out. That other group, that Batman, whatever he was.
I will tell you this, and Happy, one of these days you'll get to meet Kaiser, Edge and I's other brother. He was at a specific mall in where we live, and him and a buddy were walking around. Some punks came up. One of them pulled a gun. He's like, and just took the gun out of the guy's hands and disassembled it and went. And they just peace out running. He walked over. The security guard's like, some guy tried to mug us. Here's their gun. And the security guard's like, the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it took me forever. I now carry with one in the chamber, but it took me forever to be comfortable with carrying one in the chamber because I was always afraid, and it took a long time for me to get used to being like, okay, blah, 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 blah. I think if things change, certain things happen, I may go back to not carrying with one in the chamber and just retrain to pull rack to fire. But that just depends on things that happen.
Yeah, there.
And make sure you get on your. Yeah, I'm a really chill guy. I don't want to. I should say this. I'm a really chill guy. I don't ever want to pull my gun on someone. I will only pull my gun if I absolutely have to, if it is in the defense of my life or my family's life. Period. End of story. But you damn well know if I hear weird noises in the middle of the night. My bedside gun is not a fun gun for people. I have a 300 blackout rifle for a reason, and it is my bedside gun. Yeah. It's just I also have the, like, it took me a while to get used to carrying with one in the chamber, but it's like one of those things of, like, if I have any more children and I have a small child that's constantly, like, climbing up on me while I'm out, that's where it gets kind of, like, a little shifty for me. I'm like, I can just train. And it's not like I can't get concealed belts where I can push in to rack quicker. So it's rack and pull and fire. But it just depends. It all comes down to I will always carry, and most of the time it's going to be one in the chamber. But if it's certain cases, I might till things are a little bit more calm. It might not be, but you never know. I might just still carry with one in the chamber. I might feel comfortable enough where it's not an issue. So it depends on my gun and everything like that, my everyday carry and everything like that. Really. So I always carry my gun no matter what. There's no reason for me not to.
Get him riled up so they get their YouTube views. We're just trying to find somewhere for Joe to go because they have access to the house. They're allowed to be there, and so is Joe. So we can't make somebody leave.
That's okay. That's where it gets rough. That's no longer. It technically is no longer harassment. Well, it's harassment in a way because they technically have access to the house. They have legal access to the house. That's where it gets. That's where it gets really like gray area. That's where it gets really gray area. Yeah, it gets really gray area at that point with that. Like it's harassment and he can be in fear for his life, but so it can push it into domestic violence. But if no one's a partner, it's not technically domestic violence. It's something else, but it's not harassment. But it's like, so I don't remember what that in between is. Because it's not harassment, not stalking, because they technically, since they can be at the house and they can be watching over the person, it's not stalking, it's not harassment. There's another thing, but it's not. It's like living with a partner, but it's not living with a person, but it's not a partner. And I don't remember what that one is. It's a very not very well known one, but is I think a lot of common times it goes to DV, but it's not technically DV.
They have like those shelters? None really close to here. But he said that his buddy is trying to find somewhere and we're trying to keep
Hey, don't worry. I'll always be safe.
Yeah. Yep. You'll be out at their house. Yeah. So thank you so much for the help. I greatly appreciate it.
While Joe has stepped out to run an errand, the officer later learned from the restaurant manager that Gideon and his film crew had returned to the McDonald's multiple times looking for him.
I
the
get that
manager
jaded,
told officers
and
that despite being
that's
asked to
a
leave,
pretty good
informed them
gun
that they
to
could
have.
not record on McDonald's private property.
That's good. That's a good one to have. Supernatural. Glocks are very reliable. I don't care for Glocks. The Glocks are very reliable. That's like kind of their thing is they're very reliable. So
they continued live streaming. The group is then seen returning to the police station once again, demanding to see Joe. Believing they may head back to the McDonald's in search of him, the officer returns to the restaurant to keep watch.
All right, we're gonna go back and deal with them. Hopefully we can see what we can do about getting them out of there, but we'll see.
And soon, a large group arrives back at McDonald's, but this time...
yeah, 1911s are good. They're good. They're expensive, but they're good. Personally, like I love 19. I really do. Personally, I just want HK Mark 23 because I'm a sucker for Metal Gear. So, you know, there's something special about it. My next pistol I'm picking up though is a Beretta F92, which is essentially just remember all the buddy cop movies in the 80s and 90s. The pistol they used in all those movies, that's a Beretta. LTT Beretta. Oh, that's a good one. Berettas are really good. Special gun. It's just the Mark 23 is just a it's a happy gun for me. So
The officers are ready.
Yeah, I'll send you what it is later on.
What's the problem?
McDonald's doesn't want you guys on the property, so you guys gotta leave.
Is he here?
Doesn't matter where he's at. McDonald's does not want you on the property.
And a 19 grenade launch. Hey, listen, you know what? Criminal can't survive the shot if the criminal doesn't exist anymore. Just saying. Yep. Which is, again, a Beretta. It's a Beretta. I think that was the Beretta 9 F90. No, it's a Beretta pistol. So it was like also a big service 9mm service weapon for the longest time. That was the cop gun, which was the Beretta back in the day. Was that the Beretta 92FS? Okay, so that's the same gun I want to pick up. I need to pick up. It's $600. I just need to buy it. Here and over there, exactly.
You guys have to leave. You're gonna.
Who's you guys? Can you be more specific?
You.
So they said these people?
Him, yes. You guys cannot be on the property.
Hey!
Or they're gonna arrest you.
Do you guys want some McDonald's? Y'all want to go inside real quick?
You're gonna be arrested for trespassing if you go in there.
Bro,
Modified 92Ss?
Like, no offense, officer, but like, do you
That's
genuinely
nice.
have nothing better to do? Like,
do you have anything better to do?
Officer, you're actually like supposed to protect and serve.
Damn. Base cop. That's the best response I've ever heard from a cop. Officer, do you have anything better to do? Do you have anything better to do? Like, he got tripped up by that too. That's the great part.
Like,
do you have anything better to do?
Officer, you're actually like supposed to protect and serve.
All right, get off the property. You guys are gonna be arrested for trespassing.
Okay, we'll leave the property, but like, I'm just trying to figure out, do you have anything better to do? Because this is like a...
Yeah, they told you earlier that they don't want you guys on the property, so you guys gotta leave.
Because you've been camping out there for like 20 minutes, wasting taxpayer dollars.
I'm there for about 5. You guys need to leave. You guys are gonna be arrested for trespassing.
It's crazy how you don't arrest a squatter. That's crazy. Here, let's just stand on the sidewalk.
Here's the issue is, depending on the state, squatters' rights protects them from being arrested. Do I agree with it? No. But at times it does protect people who are being falsely accused of squatting. So it's like, it's that weird give and take. Most of the time, squatters are actually squatting and they need to get removed, but they're being protected. It's like a very small percentage that's protecting. Unfortunately, that means the majority get protected. And you don't. It's that weird, like, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, I don't want, we need to protect the people that are going to get fucked over by shitty people. But at the same time, we don't want to protect these people, but we can't differentiate sometimes because it gets really weird. But it gets weird. And squatters' rights gets really fucking weird. Like, it's stupid. Like, some of the squatters' rights, I'm like, this is kind of like bullshit in how it is. Florida's actually out good ones in the sense of, yeah, you can claim squatters' rights, but you have to live at a place for like 7 years and have to prove that no one else was coming by to take care of the house and you're the person taking care of the place you're squatting in. And you have to do that for 7 years with no one coming in to do anything. The moment someone comes in and goes, we own this property, what the fuck are you doing here? And they start sending people to clean, you have to leave. You don't get any rights. But it's one of those weird things, you know.
But the warning has little effect. Soon Gideon is seen standing on the sidewalk yelling.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
and
taking
stopping
that.
vehicles attempting to enter McDonald's.
Oh, hey, cool. This is disorderly. Public disorderly. You guys now have you're trespassed off of McDonald's and you have public disorderly. Nice. Good on you.
To patronize the business. At the same time, officers noticed 2 members of the film crew attempting to enter the restaurant with their cameras, prompting them to make their move.
Let's see if there's some McJoes in there. Chat, man, is this what you want your tax dollars to go to? Cops camping out at a McDonald's to protect a squatter. He's in there? Really? Should we give them the camera? Yo, do me a favor. Be very careful. Just wear this as a backpack. You didn't trespass them, so shut the f up! Bro,
McDonald's asked that they be trespassed, and they're already asking people who to not have cameras, and you legitimately cannot have cameras. And the only reason police get to is because by law, they're required to have their body cameras on at all times during situations. So it doesn't matter what the business states, the business can't deny that. Business can ask that certain things get edited out. You are not law enforcement. You are a streamer. You are a prankster and a piece of shit streamer. So you don't have that right. And yeah,
you haven't been trespassed.
We're good. What am I?
Just walk inside.
He is.
You get my video?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But make sure y'all stick together.
Isn't that backpack like 30 grand?
Yeah. They have not. Yeah, hold up. Wait. Actually, come back. Bro, they're really protecting Joe.
It doesn't matter. They don't have to like it, but you guys aren't allowed on there.
Officer, what are you doing? Officer, never trespass them. You can't trespass somebody.
1212 dispatch. We're gonna have one detained at this point.
Officer, you cannot trespass somebody.
If a business asks to have someone trespassed, it is the officer's duty to inform you that you have been trespassed. And the moment you break that trespass, they can arrest you. And since they point out your crew...
See you going too, Mitchell?
Here, give me my backpack, my man.
No, that's evidence at this point.
Officer, you can't trespass somebody.
You're in arrest.
Here, record this on your phone.
That's serious, bro.
The entire point of a trespass is to oh my god. He's a fucking retard. Like, seriously, how the if you had been trespassed from a premise and your crew has been trespassed from a premise, it is the cop's duty to uphold that trespass. Meaning, if you walk onto the property that you have been trespassed on, that means you can be arrested. Like, you just literally sent your crew in to get arrested. And I love, give me my backpack. Nope, that's evidence at this point. You don't get the backpack back. That's evidence. Legitimately evidence. It was on his person as he was arrested. Therefore, it is evidence. Therefore, it is property that is to be taken in. I can't remember the word at the current moment because my brain's farting. But yeah, it's evidence. They're allowed to take that at that point. It was on someone that they are arresting. They're allowed to see. They're allowed to seize it. You might not like it. Yeah, it's something I don't like at times. But you know what? Sucks to suck, nerd.
Wait.
My loyal Q is already dropping.
Can I hold your guys' property?
Nope.
Got anything on you?
Oh my god.
Officer, why are you?
Does your phone?
Officer, were they trespass? This isn't gonna stick.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Officer, this is not gonna stick.
Wait, so what did we do wrong?
Breach of peace.
Breach of peace?
Breach of peace, stalking, trespassing.
Bro, this is the best made I've seen in my
I love that. Breach of peace. Disorderly. Stalking and trespassing. That's awesome. I know, right? They're not going to think it's funny at all. Pepper's made the last one. Nah. He's an IRL streamer. Tase him, wrap him, throw him in the McDonald's parking lot to be used as a road bump, as a speed bump. I mean, throw him in the river. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Exactly.
They never even went on the property. How are you gonna trespass on that never?
This is where it gets funny, because they technically did. This here is not McDonald's property. Right here, this is sidewalk, this is public property. The moment you pass this point of the road, because this is the drive-through, and enter this, where the golden arches are, this is McDonald's property. They were arrested here. This is McDonald's property. This is not. This is. You're over here. They were arrested over here. They were on McDonald's property. This is considered McDonald's property for all intents and purposes. Because the lot is up to technically right here. Right where the roadway is. So most of the parking lot, anywhere the drive-through is, technically up to the parking lot, depending on the McDonald's, obviously, too, is McDonald's property. Some of them, if they're like the full contained, like they're in their own like little section of like a strip mall or like a shopping excerpt, and it's like that full on, like they have their own little parking spots and everything and the drive-through, that's all property. So it depends on where, like, the style it is, but this, at least from here and around where the arrows are, this is all McDonald's property. Sucks to suck, nerd.
On the property.
This
is a violation of rights. This is a violation. You cannot arrest somebody that never went inside and was never trespassed. Ma'am, there are arrested children that never went inside of a McDonald's.
They don't have to go into the...
See how fast that gets dropped, you dumbasses? Okay. Call the...
This guy is so fucking annoying. It doesn't matter. They don't have to go into that. This here, where this officer that we're looking at, like his body camera, he is on the McDonald's property at this current moment. Like, you don't understand how property works. Where you are is public because it is the front facing, it's the road, it's next to the sidewalk. That is considered public property. Where the cop that we are viewing through the body camera is, this is McDonald's property. Scumbag needs 3Ks. Exactly. It gets worse. Oh god.
Call the DA.
Oh god, Rudy. It gets worse. Oh no. Okay. Oh, he's going to give me a migraine. I'm going to strongly suggest that we wrap him, tase him. Wrap him, tase him. There's no river nearby. Damn it. Yeah, I'm just going to go with my original. Wrap him, tase him, use him as a speed bump.
See how fast that gets dropped.
Tase 10? Yes, please.
Yeah, everybody's looking. This is absolutely...
If you drop the soap. Yep. Disorderly.
Freedom of speech. You can yell on the sidewalk.
You cannot. Okay, so yes, you can yell while you're on the sidewalk, but you are yelling towards the property that you have been trespassed from. This is where it gets kind of weird because, yeah, the cops can't state that they are the victims of disorderly. But because of everything going on, and you're having people literally stopping, see what's going on, and potentially customers inside the McDonald's having their peace disturbed, yes, you're being arrested for disorderly conduct. You get boozed up for this one.
On the sidewalk.
I know.
Yep. So you can't yell, officer.
So you. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't harass people.
Do you really think this charge is gonna stick? Do you guys really think this is gonna stick? Sure, we have a do you want to waste your DA's time? I am a multi-millionaire. I promise you, I can take this as far as you want.
And there's the start of the video. I'm sorry, I don't care. You're a multi-millionaire and you still act like a complete scumbag. What people say you do. Oh wait, but you don't consider yourself the rich. But you're a multi-millionaire. Which is it? You're just a piece of shit. That's what you are.
Officer,
don't ever say you're a multi-millionaire.
And you will be arrested. This is fair.
You don't even know fucking laws. Shut the fuck up, you fucking piece of shit. Don't ever say you're a multi-millionaire. No. I'm just gonna straight up say it. I'm fucking rich. Fuck you, bitch. If I'm ever arrested, you guys will know it's me. Sir, get out of the vehicle. Why am I getting out of the vehicle? You're doing 25 over, and you're swerving. Ah, shit. Fuck. Well, at least I'm rich. Happy seeing they're like looking at the body camera, like, oh, this is a retard. Why did he do? Fine equals free for a price. Yeah, no, fine. Yeah. Oh my God, Superman. Support that. Rubbing those 2 pennies give you a third penny, you'd be like, oh, but will it become deformed if I?
Hey, Becky.
Oh.
Call Jake and have him get my lawyer. Call Jake and get my lawyer. Is this really the route you want to go, officer?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to waste taxpayer dollars? Yep. Officer, can I ask you a question?
No.
Can I please
sit?
Okay.
Do you really want to abuse me, officer?
It's.
Get your foot in.
It's not.
Fit in here,
Get your foot in.
Officer, I can't even fit in here.
Get your foot in.
Resisting without violence. Right there. Resisting without violence. Immediate. Resisting without violence. Sir, I can't fit back here. Can't get my foot in. I can't fit back here. Resisting without violence. Get in the car, you long-winded fuck. I know. El Dorado!
You're gonna arrest somebody that never even went on the property.
You're under arrest for being disorderly, not for being on the property. Put your foot
Officer, I can't fit.
No, then
Officer,
you're in.
Officer, I won't run. I'm not gonna do anything.
That's
Can
good.
you just take
Go.
off the
Go that way.
Can you put them in the front at least?
No.
No.
Officer,
Resisting.
You're trying to
Resisting.
push me, but
Resisting.
I can't scoot.
I've had bigger people in the
Officer, you're actually hurting me. Officer, please.
You're resisting. This is just the beginning. Oh no.
I'm too big.
Put your foot that way. Let's
Officer,
go.
I can't. I'm not trying to be. Here, I'm not resisting, officer. I promise you.
Let's go.
It is literally my body autonomy. I cannot move. Can you just put my handcuffs in the?
I am pretty sure Gorlock has fit back there. I can't believe I'm saying this. You're not that fucking fat. I guarantee you a Gorlock has sat in the back of this officer's car. He's probably hated it because his car was dragging, the rear end was dragging on the ground, but he's had a Gorlock sitting in the back of that vehicle. I guarantee you. You are not that big, sir.
Front.
No.
And it'll make it so much easier.
You have to turn your body. You have to
I
turn
hope not.
and scoot that way.
Have you guys consulted with the DA?
We don't have a DA.
It doesn't
You
need...
have a district attorney.
No.
You have a state attorney. You
There's
can
no
go.
district attorneys down here.
What about state attorney?
Go. Put your feet in. Let's go.
Officer, I'm telling you, I can't
He doesn't
move.
care.
Scoot that way. There you go.
Officer, I can't move. Bro, you...
Just tag resisting on top of it. Tag resisting. Please tag resisting on this, because this is resisting without violence. He's not violently resisting. He's just resisting in a way where he's not forcibly hurting the officer, attempting to harm the officer.
Pushing me is not gonna
Grab
do
the
anything.
bottle.
Bro, officer, you're actually hurting me.
Come on.
Officer, I'm not. I can't move.
Yes, you can. Scoot
Okay,
in there.
can I step out and then slide in?
Yeah, step out and slide in.
Bro, made, bro.
Set your butt in first.
I sat inside.
Set your
Yo, call Jake and get my lawyer.
Hey, get in.
Get the fuck.
Why you guys?
Slide your butt back. There you go. Anybody making the scene can slow down. We're secure.
But even after being placed under arrest, Gideon remains confident that the officers have only created bigger problems for themselves, as some of them try to make sense of the situation.
Breach of peace covers it all, so.
Where are your car keys at?
Right in my pocket, sir.
Pocket.
This one here.
Where's your car at?
It's the black one right there.
That Black Fusion?
Yes, sir.
We'll take Lions for a Black Fusion.
Rip your brain cells.
Yep.
So are they all trespassing
Ah, that's perfect. You told it? Yep.
from this property or what?
I told them to leave or going to jail for breach of peace if they don't want to leave. So
Looks like they're leaving. I don't know who's all trespassing here. I didn't catch all that from earlier. So.
hey, have you ever read our breach of peace ordinance?
Yeah, it covers everything. I'm good with the breach of peace.
It's stalking. I mean, we got a whole bunch.
I mean, dude, they are stalking this dude. Like, there's got to be some kind of resolution to it.
So what, we got 4?
We got 4 right now. This is absurd, dude. Was he arresting him too?
Oh, get out and get off the property now.
Yes, sir. I was not a part of this.
Then you better walk away quickly.
Yes, sir. I was just in the car. I'll leave. Hey, Dad, do you mind? Actually, never mind. I'll just walk home.
Now you're impeding.
Smart. I wasn't part of this. Leave now. Yes. I'll call my. Actually, you know, I'll just walk home. Have a good day, officer. Bye. Peace. Smart. Playful and quickly. Yeah. You just watch 4 of your friends get. Nope. I'm not part of this. I'm gone. Bye.
Traffic. Downtown unit, can you light this black SUV up right here for us? Good. He's pulling up and stopping him for us.
We were just trying to pick our friend up.
Okay, we can't stop in the middle of the road.
Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
And here's the other guy.
I have my insurance on my phone. That's not.
Is it the same?
It's the
same policy.
Same policy. That's not correct.
Okay. I'll be honest. It's kind of a gaggle mess going on in here right now. So.
I know what's going on.
Okay. Well, he'll eventually move.
Do all 3 stalking and breach of peace.
We're dealing with this all day long. The guy's harassing somebody over there. It's been like an ongoing, years issue. They're harassing this dude, stalking this dude. Then it kind of all compiled today. And now it's just turned into this. So, and then he decided to stop in the middle of the road.
Yeah, if my friend's being like a simple thing, if your friend's being this fucking retarded, just sit there and be like, you know what? Nah, I don't want a piece of this. Get out of the vehicle. Yep. I'll just walk him to it. It's fine. Are you towing his vehicle? Yeah, cool. Did he say no? Okay, cool. I'm gone. Bye. Peace. Bye. Hello, Penny. Hi.
But
If you need anybody anywhere, we good.
We should be good right now. I think everybody pretty much got off the property and left. This guy's over here filming, but yeah, there's probably about 30 other people. So long story short is this guy lives on here getting evicted. His nephew, if this car's got a Tennessee plate, that's one of the cars. Yeah. His nephew is throwing you see him with the party hats and stuff, on a eviction party for the uncle. They all have access to the house. They went in there with big speakers and they just with them for YouTube videos. So they've been chasing him up to the McDonald's for his YouTube videos. And McDonald's kicked him out earlier. They keep coming back while he's here. They keep kicking him out. And now they're sending more people up in here, so. Yeah, that's the one that was following me out. When I was taking him to the station the first time, they're the ones that were following me. And I think 2 more just walked in here. If you guys aren't getting food, get out.
No, we are. You saying what? We're just kind of confused. Yeah, I was just asking what was going on.
At this point, you have to consider every single person that could possibly coming in could be part of that crew. And it sucks because this is where collateral comes in. It's like, hey, blah blah. No, we're not part of that crew. We're just ordering food. Granted, you're ordering food at McDonald's, so you're probably not doing so well for yourself, but that's my point. McDonald's food's not great. It really is not. But I digress. But like this vehicle here, like he is technically the biggest contributor of it, but he's not directly involved. He's just indirectly involved, even though it's technically family. It doesn't matter.
Are you guys involved in all this stuff too?
We were earlier. We were staying at the house, and then we just pulled up in here to get a drink.
I just McDonald's. You're good.
We haven't been here the whole time. Like, yeah, we just pulled up. Yeah, we just came back.
Okay, well, if you guys are involved, I suggest you leave.
Okay.
And probably not.
We're trying to leave.
Well, you're gonna have to be stuck here for a little bit now, unless you can squeeze by that. But I suggest you don't get involved anymore.
How many? Why so many people?
That's smart. We're not involved anymore. Cool. Then we suggest you leave. I can't leave. Okay, then you're stuck here until you can leave, and then you leave. Yes, sir.
Just random YouTube followers. I don't understand all this, dude. Like over.
The food is clean. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Like YouTube views.
If we don't get the ringleader of this, I'll probably just mail him a stalking ticket.
That's fine. I think it's him in the Audi. That's the ski.
If we don't get the ringleader of this, then I'll just mail him a stocking ticket. Actually, I think it's the guy right there in the Audi. Huh? Oh, his face. He's like, fuck, more paperwork. He was hoping that it wasn't. He was hoping he's like, cool, I could just mail him the ticket and I'm good. Now he's like, fuck. All that's going through this officer's head is, oh, my paperwork. Oh, so much more paperwork. Why?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we start. I'm just waiting for Lions to get this car out of here.
When you guys hope the
process.
it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I don't. Whatever.
He's one of those guys that he goes on, tries to catch like predator.
Bro, it's gonna be Audi. I know, right?
He's following young kids that think it's super cool, and he's with his uncle. He's got all these videos of him with his uncle, and it's his uncle that's in there. Get off the property or you're going to jail too. Start walking.
Understood.
Start walking.
With the personal property?
They had it, it's their property. Start walking. Go. Yep, go. Start walking. Shouldn't have given it to them.
It's been seized.
They're all still out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with him for a little bit. I don't know if I should. What about Skeeter? Where did he go?
I have no idea where he went. The ones that came up on
Put
the
it in the
property.
Audi. Yep.
Kicking him?
I think you got a ticket. I don't know. The ones that came up on the property and were causing disturbance on the property are the ones that went to jail. I don't even know honestly who we have. We got quite a few. So.
All right, thank you.
Yep. If they come back into the.
What about this black guy over here? He was at the house.
Well,
and the guy with the glasses.
Yeah, I got you. So
he was at the house.
The problem was that they were here, and the ones that were causing an issue here is who went with us right now. Because they could have been at the house. They're allowed at the house because someone that has authority at the house is at the house. So the ones that were causing an issue here that weren't supposed to be on the property. But if Skeeter comes back and he starts bugging you, call us and we'll take him too.
Oh, really?
Yep. Because they were told not to come on the property here. And they were on the property and they were causing a disturbance.
They're allowed to come on my property. Right.
Yeah, just
Oh, now they're harassing the McDonald's. I wouldn't tell her to unplug. I'd be like, no, give me the phone number. And then put it through dispatch to have them track the phone number where it's coming from. Track the call. And then arrest that person for harassment.
plug it, ignore them. That's what they want is you just answer and get annoyed. They just want to make you mad, so if you just unplug it, they don't have a chance.
Yep.
All right, so
how many did you arrest?
I'm not sure, quite a few. I have 3 sets of handcuffs and I use all my handcuffs, so I don't know.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick. Yeah. Is this McDonald's? No, this is Patrick.
Property, so we can't do anything about them hanging out there, so I'd go hide back in there.
With all of the arrested parties on their way to the station, the restaurant manager and Joe both provide written statements about the incident.
I will.
But back inside the squad car, Gideon remains convinced that he has done nothing wrong.
Am I officially under arrest?
Yes, sir. I guess. You're for breach of peace is what it sounds like, all right? Breach of peace.
Even though I was on a public easement.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. What is the officer's name that arrested me?
You'll get all that when we get back to the station.
Okay. I just want you guys to know that once this case gets dropped, I am going to get a constitutional rights lawyer, and I'm going to go after you guys for.
Yeah, you do just that, because most constitutional rights lawyers are fucking retarded. I'm just saying, most of them don't know how to argue correctly in court. And technically, there's not a breach of your constitution here. You were arrested for disorderly. In fact, you were on public property, screaming and yelling. That actually constitutes for disorderly. Kind of the point of disorderly is to be in public, and being disorderly in public, which you were. Take a drink.
You guys will be in a deposition.
Finish your drink.
Because the DA is not going to take
No.
this case. It's going to get dropped when it gets dismissed.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Please, just shut the fuck up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what crime is yelling on the sidewalk?
Oh my god.
We'll discuss when we get in, all right? I'm not going to try to have a conversation between this.
Okay. Between this
barrier.
Constitutional rights violated.
Is
I didn't know Woodhaven like violating constitutional rights. Call my. Yeah. Give me a lawyer ASAP.
You're being recorded this entire time. You are currently arrested. Technically, his Miranda rights were never read to him, so he can say whatever he wants. And it's technically admissible here. From what we know. We don't know if he ever was read. He could have been read them, and it just never was shown in the video. I'm going to state that right now. We don't know if they were read or not. But technically, if they didn't, this is just a headache. Can't use any of this footage. Technically against them. In that sense. But if they did, all of this footage is free to use. Everything, it just adds to the disorderly. And you're in the back of a police car and you're yelling. That doesn't go well. That's true. That is true.
Tell him to give me a lawyer ASAP. No, he's not gonna let down the window. It's fine. Just stay right there. I don't want them to get you. They arrested me on breach of peace.
Can you
tell them?
You, sir, are way too close. You, sir, are way too close. You need to back the fuck away, because that's you might get arrested too.
Call Jake. Okay.
Okay, can you move so I can see? No, I just want to be able to see. So
Technically, he could. You're approaching a police officer who has a suspect in the back of their vehicle. You could be attempting to free that suspect. Therefore, you could be placed under arrest.
I don't get into a crash.
Wait, record?
Shut the fuck up, dude.
My detective's asking if you fill out a written statement of today of what they've done to you. Okay. Are you able to do that for me? Yeah. I'd appreciate it. They've been following you around all day.
Yeah, and they drive around. They're driving around a U-Haul truck. I don't know. I think they're back at the house because I've seen them go that way.
Okay.
They set up the music equipment and speakers upstairs.
Yeah, I was there for that earlier today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Uncle is a little high on something.
You guys give me a ticket? You guys were talking to him over here in an SUV.
No, I just gave him a ticket.
You named a ticket?
Yeah.
For what?
Impeding traffic for stopping in the middle of the road. That's the only thing I could have charged him with was impeding traffic. But we arrested 4.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
They can get him for harassment, but that's about it.
Music. You guys might be back there?
Probably.
So do you guys think these charges are going to stick? Do you genuinely think these charges are going to stick?
Sir, we'll have a conversation back here, okay?
Listen, man. Here, you seem like a nice guy. Was that guy who was doing all that, was he your boss?
Yeah, I'm the junior person, sir.
Yeah. Just let him know, hey, man. I want his qualified immunity.
You don't get his... God. And this is a guy who doesn't understand what qualified immunity is. Qualified immunity! Let's go ahead and get into this. Qualified immunity does not mean that cops are immune to all sorts of, like, they're immune to breaking the law or anything. No, qualified immunity means you can't sue an individual cop. If you sue a police officer, you're suing the police department. So your lawsuit is against the department, not the officer. And all qualified immunity does is keeps it so it is the department that's being sued, not the officer individually. The only way an officer loses his qualified immunity is if he is no longer an officer, which requires either him retiring or him doing some fucked up shit. Qualified immunity means you can't sue him individually. You have to sue the department. That's all that means. This is a fucking retard that doesn't understand what the fuck qualified immunity is. It doesn't mean he's above the law. It literally means he cannot be individually sued for this case, particularly in this case. You cannot go after him. You have to go after the department. That is what it means. That's all it means. That's all qualified immunity does. Is it keeps officers safe from having to go and deal with individual lawsuits. Because if everyone fucking sued the officer that fucking arrested them, no officer would be around and we wouldn't have police officers, and then you'd all be fucking crying that there's no police officers. When people are breaking into your house and stealing all your shit and raping people and being fucking pieces of shit. No, qualified immunity just means you can't sue the officer directly. You have to sue the department. That's all that means. That's all it is. Yeah, there's been a few. I will state those words. There's been a few that have almost got me. I'm like, what's got me there? You gotta be smooth with them. I will. Like, certain things just piss me off. Like, that's one of those things. People like, I'll like, I want his qualified immunity. You don't know what that means because you're too fucking retarded to realize what that means.
I am the junior person here.
I want his qualified immunity. I know my constitutional rights.
No, you don't.
Officer, how can someone...
If you knew your constitutional rights, you'd be using your Fifth Amendment real fucking quick and showing the fuck up. Shut up. Sit in the back of the vehicle and don't argue. Just shut the fuck up. That's what the Fifth is. I plead the Fifth, meaning I don't answer questions, meaning I'm shutting the fuck up. You can't get any information from me, and I'm going to be quiet this entire ride. Shut the fuck up.
Someone be trespassed that never even went inside. What sense does that make?
Oh, she definitely will get these nuts.
Those other people, and then with me,
I have to. Sorry, hon.
Voicing my displeasure with this police department, and you guys, through retaliation, arrest me as well. Is there a body camera in here?
Yes, sir. It's on. It's recording right now.
Yeah, exactly, Rudy.
We're just going.
100%. He has the right to remain silent. He lacks the capacity. You have the right to remain silent. I wish you would.
I'm right back to the house. You know that, right?
Listen, remember, we're separating people, we're segregating people again. We're segregating them by the loud ones and the quiet ones. The loud ones have to sit in the back. Simple as that.
So you guys aren't accomplishing anything. You're wasting taxpayer dollars. I'd appreciate if you get my glasses. I can't see what I'm.
By the way, before anyone gets really mad at me, a black person made that joke, so fuck you.
Yeah, where are they? They fell in the. Yeah, I'll grab them. It was not on my bingo card to file a civil rights lawsuit.
Go right ahead. You're probably gonna lose it.
Yo, what's good, my man? Don't worry, I'll pay for your bond. It's not gonna stick.
I mean, you can pay for his bond. That's not an issue. You still have to go to the court date.
You guys can just come up to this counter.
Get us with the best civil rights attorney.
Nope, right there's good for me. Stay right there. 1 second.
Yeah, some of them
Ultimately,
have.
Gideon Adams was charged with misdemeanor, stalking, and breach of peace.
It's superior.
The other 3 crew
Supernatural.
members were each charged with 1 count of breach of peace as well. A judge set Gideon's bond at $10,000, which he posted to secure his release. The other 3 crew members also posted personal bonds. While Gideon was in jail, his and Skeeter's fans made hundreds of calls to the Woodhaven Police Department and Downriver Dispatch. Some callers reported fictitious crimes, including a false homicide, while others flooded the Woodhaven Police Department's Facebook page with messages. And upon his release, Gideon launched a campaign called Free Gideon, claiming it would prove his innocence and what he believed was the bias officers had shown in favor of Joe. Skeeter, on the other hand, still wants Joe out of his grandmother's house. Gideon's pretrial hearing is scheduled for July 13, 2026, where his defense attorney will begin addressing the stalking and breach of peace charges. If convicted, he could face up to 93
does
days in
Rev
jail
have
for
a
breaching
video
the
on
peace
this?
and
We'll
up
add that
1
on
year in jail
to this.
or a
Okay.
$1,000 fine for stalking. Whether you're on patrol, on the couch, or in an interrogation room wondering where it all went wrong,
Look, cross lore, I love that.
from CodeBlueCam.com.
Code Blue Cam.
Tees, mugs, hats.
We love Code Blue Cam, guys. Code Blue Cam's good peoples. But Rev actually had something. We're gonna actually add this in. This is gonna be a fun double feature. Rev has. Oh, hey, look, the Gideon situation genuinely embarrassing. Let's just add this in. I'll deal with it a little bit later. Oh yeah. Oh, I love Donut. Donut's awesome. Donut's partially the reason why I started watching body cam footage on stream. I was starting to do it beforehand, and then he started streaming again, started doing it more. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, definitely going to do this as long as it's not shooting. Cool. So sometimes, some of the videos I've already technically seen because, I'm listening to them in the background while I'm working and he's streaming them. So it's a way of me going, okay, cool, this is a safe one for me on stream. Because I try and stay away from the shootings, because shootings tend to make everyone, especially YouTube and Twitch, go kind of cringe. But we're adding Rev's video to this because it makes sense, because why not? Hi, no. So we're gonna add in Rev's video onto this entire video. So this video is gonna be like an hour long. You guys are gonna get a treat for this one. This is probably gonna be one of the last longer ones. And Rev trolling him makes sense. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna love it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the embarrassing situation involving the popular YouTuber Gideon.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm covering Rev. I forgot Rev and I like to be on the same side. Rev always likes to be big, you know. You know what? Fine. It's Rev's video. We gotta give him some love.
Recent live stream debacles was trying to do a sting operation on a squatter, where ironically enough, he was arrested for disorderly conduct. And during the related body cam footage that has gone viral, you can see him showing his true colors, flexing that he's a millionaire, mocking the police, even asking to see their proverbial manager during his related crash outs.
Yeah, that's it's funny that like just watching like Dion's, he was making my head hurt because he was saying the stupid things that people who just watch cop shows, that don't watch body cam footages, don't understand like how like policing works and things like that. They just spout the nonsense of like, well, I want this, I want the qualified immunity is just it's what that twist the knob. SCP, change your mind. I won't.
And over the past couple of days, he has faced a lot of criticism
I agree.
and mockery as well, to the point where he made this YouTube apology video saying, "I quit." And this is a ukulele level of an apology video. Not only is it really disorganized, I mean, if you took a shot every time he said the word genuinely, you would have alcohol poisoning in the first 2 minutes.
No, we're not going to do that drinking game because I don't want you guys to suffer and I don't want to die. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. Now BLM wants body cams removed. Like, BLM activists want body cams removed because it disproportionately shows the wrong people getting arrested, except for those are some of the funniest ones. I'm just saying. I'm tapped out. No more, please.
But besides that, nobody is really buying this sort of
No, we're not gonna do
narrative he is
that.
selling. In fact, you'd be very hard-pressed in the comments to find a single comment that's not roasting him and making fun of his millionaire status that he loved flexing on the police. But of course, with Gideon, you should know the type of content he makes. He has gotten millions of subs doing sort of sting operations, going after alleged criminals,
Yeah, I know,
trying
right?
to get them locked up, often working with law enforcement to make that.
Oh, I do remember seeing that, like, when Code Blue Cam posted up Gideon's arrest. He's like, damn, you guys aren't going to show any of me catching these PDF files. It's like, because you're kind of a piece you're one of those piece of shits that, like, don't get me wrong, yes, they're predators, they're PDF. We don't like them, but the way you do it isn't the right way to do it.
Happen. However, with Gideon and a lot of people who do this sort of stuff, eventually the clout really infects their brain, and these strings and these operations really become more of a public spectacle. And that's exactly what happened in this recent situation where he was trying to lock up a squatter with a violent and unstable history. During the sting operation and live stream, not only did his fans show up, but many minors would show up on the scene, where he would equip many of them with his cameras and other recording devices, getting them literally involved with the operation, putting them in harm's way with a man with a violent history. But
so, and again, this is what I was talking about earlier in the video, where it's like the entire portion of like a harassment case or domestic violence case is you separate the parties. You don't want both parties near each other. You want to separate the parties to get both sides trying to arrest one to deal with the situation, right? If you have someone like Gideon who is constantly pushing the situation and pushing into that, and you can't separate them correctly, it gets kind of murky and gets kind of muddy. And then on top of, if you're getting minors involved, you're no better than the predator supposedly catch. Yeah, I love that one. I love that hearing that one of like, oh, stop showcasing drunk college girls. They're drunk college girls getting pulled over by the cops. Not our fault that that's the one that was the more interesting next to the typical traffic stop. Or the one we can't show, which has a whole bunch of dead bodies all around because the guy went on a murderous rampage and is seen in the middle of a room after murdering 12 people with the gun to his head, pulling the trigger, and it's just clicking because there's no ammo left, and he's just seen there covered in blood. Yeah. Drunk college chick, we can show. We can't show murder, and no one cares about the typical traffic stop. Except for, you know, the one guy who's like, yeah, I saw you talking on your phone with your right hand, and she pulls up a stop. I love when cops get called out too. So yeah, listen, I'm equal opportunity shit talker.
Things would take a very quick turn when he was the one arrested instead of the alleged squatter. And this is the channel
and that's the Code Blue Cam.
Reacted to the body cam footage called Code Blue Cam. As you can see, it has nearly 3 million views in just 6 days. And we'll watch the portion of this video that is really telling about the sort of mindset this guy has. But you can see that Gideon's fans are not too happy about this.
Yeah, hand God.
Blue
hand God, hand God, other hand. Oh, interesting, Penny. I didn't know. That could have been a YouTube thing. My stream's been weird lately. You go get some rest, Supernatural. Thanks for swinging by.
Cam would post some screenshots of emails he has received from people impersonating YouTube's legal team, which is a felony, I'm pretty sure, basically demanding that he takes down the video, otherwise his channel is going to be suspended and his monetization taken away. Of course, this is coming from the YouTube legal team with Great Scott here. It's like they're not even trying.
Funny part that Gideon doesn't understand. Body cam footage is public domain, which means there is 0 legal rights to it. Even if you're the forefront of it, you don't have legal rights to it. That is that's public domain, which means no one has the ability to copyright it. Technically, I have the ability to copyright it because of transformative nature, but the initial video, nope. Oh, Eustace, it's so hard to say, Penny, to be honest. YouTube's weird sometimes too.
But of course, here is the actual footage. To give you some context, they thought this squatter would be showing
public
up
domain
at McDonald's. So
Kinda
he, his crew, and his fans were all around that McDonald's, and they were clearly being a nuisance and disruptive, and they were warned many times by the police to stop or they'd be arrested, and that's exactly what happened. And in a minute, you're going to see Gideon get arrested for disorderly conduct.
Call the DA and see how fast that gets dropped, you dumbasses. Okay. Call the DA and see how fast that gets dropped.
These 3?
Watch. Call the DA and see how fast that gets dropped.
He's yelling, so he's being disorderly. Yeah, everybody's looking.
I love that. He's yelling, so he's being disorderly.
Absolutely.
Disorderly. You're under arrest for being disorderly.
Freedom of speech. You can yell.
It's not a freedom of speech thing.
Exactly.
Disorderly conduct is not a freedom of speech thing. You can't be disorderly in public, hence disorderly conduct. So he's trying to paint this narrative that he's being silenced by the police, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah, again, I even went over it. Like, it's not you are on public property yelling that is considered disorderly. Simple as that. There's no, well, you're being disorderly. It's not freedom of speech. If you're sitting there talking. Yo, why you arresting them? They weren't trespassed. Well, they had your equipment. Oh, okay. Well, still, they weren't trespassed. They could have gone walking in. If you want to take their equipment, that's fine. Cool, whatever. I'm out that until you're done with your investigation. But they weren't trespassed. I'm on public property, and I'm not yelling. Weird. But that's asking someone with an IQ of 76 to think. So
here.
On the sidewalk.
I shouldn't say that. I don't know his IQ.
Yep.
It's
So you
probably
can't yell?
73.
Officer. Anything I need to know about? Officer, how fast do you think this is going to get dropped? Do you really think this charge is going to stick? Do you guys really think this is going to stick? Sure, we have a do you want to waste your DA's time? I am a multi-millionaire. I promise you, I can take the
Instant aura loss, flexing that he's a multi-millionaire to the police. The level of narcissism is insane. And I will say this again, body cam footage is the greatest thing to ever come to life. This was initially an initiative to expose the cops, but instead over the years, we have seen the true behavior of many people facing consequences for their own.
It's always exactly who you think it's going to be. It really is. Not stereotyping, it's just you pull up camera footage and you're like, oh.
Actions, and Gideon here is of course an example of that, making a fool out of himself while being arrested after literally asking
usual
for
suspects
this for an
doing the
extended
usual
period of
behavior.
time, making a spectacle out of this entire ordeal.
this as far as you go on. Officer, you will be in a deposition and you will be arrested. This is...
Here, back here.
I love that. You will be in deposition and you will be arrested. No, he won't. Yeah, it is. Power recognition is vital for survival. Exactly. I don't expect a woman to clutch her purse around me because I don't look like the person she should clutch her purse around. Though, if I'm thinking of the comedian Christina Vinci is her name, she had the greatest joke of. So I saw this black guy walking out. I was walking down the street and I saw a black guy walking towards me, and immediately I clutched my purse. Everyone started laughing. She's like, because she was talking about like jeans passed down. She's like, then I remembered I can't buy them anymore, and then everyone's laughing. She's like, he still stole my purse, but I remembered. Like, it's one of those. I'm like, oh, that is so bad. I love it.
Yo, call Jake and have him get my lawyer. Call Jake and get my lawyer.
Hold on, I gotta do this. We gotta do this ADD break. Hold on, let me pull up her. Yeah, she doesn't have. Hold on, let me try and pull her up. Oh yeah, this is it right here.
I learned that racism is passed down generationally, so it's internalized, which makes sense. I was walking home, it was late at night, and this black guy walks towards me, and instinctively, I grab my purse, even though logically, I know he's not for sale. He did steal my wallet, though. I learned that racism is passed down generationally, so it's internalized, which makes sense. I was walking home, it was late at night, and this black guy walks towards me, and instinctively, I grab my purse, even though logically, I know he's not for sale. He did steal my wallet, though.
Sorry, that's like one of those things. She's great.
The route you want to go, officer?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to waste taxpayer dollars?
Yep.
Officer, can I ask you a question?
No.
Can I please?
Sit.
They so could have gotten him for resisting without violence. 100% they could have gotten him with resisting without violence. Right there. They could have. They didn't push it, but they could have.
They're literally wasting taxpayer dollars.
On a chain gang? That'd be funny.
By making an entire spectacle out of this and
oh
being a
hey, a
nuisance to the
cosmic.
police.
Thanks
That
for the raid,
is
my man.
wasting
How are you doing?
dollars. Not that most of his fans really care about taxpayer dollars because most of them are children. Therefore, they've never paid taxes before, so they don't really understand what that's even like to waste in the first place. But let's continue.
No, they just waste their parents' money on Fortnite, you know.
Continue.
Do you really want to abuse me, officer?
He's now crying abuse.
I can't even fit in here.
Get your foot in.
Officer, I can't even fit in here.
Get your
Got corrected on a court case or made on. Oh, really? Interesting. That's weird because you're one of those people that just you have a lot of knowledge. It's scary how much knowledge you have.
How are you gonna arrest somebody that never even went on the property?
You're under arrest for being disorderly, not for being on the property. Put your foot
Officer, I can't fit.
No, then
Officer,
you're gonna sneak over.
Officer, I won't run. I'm not gonna do anything.
That's
Can you
good.
just take off the
Go that way.
Is that going to be the next, like,
I'm going to state, I'm not going to state what I stated earlier in the video, but if you heard what I said earlier in the video, the man is not that big.
anti-police brutality movement? I can't fit. Is that the next one?
Can you put it in the front at least?
No.
I can't fit's the next. I can't breathe. I'm a horrible person, but that's funny. I can't fit. I can't fit.
Officer, I can't scoot. You're trying to push me, but I can't scoot.
Dude, just scoot.
Officer, you're actually hurting me.
I'm too fat
Are you
to be
really being
arrested.
hurt? Are you that soft? Are you actually being hurt? Or are you just being a drama queen? Because you don't like that you're being arrested. I would love to have his psyche at this moment and what he's thinking. Like, this is going to make them uncuff you and let you go. Being the most annoying person imaginable.
I love
Brilliant
that.
strategy. It didn't work out. Spoiler.
Ram gang.
Officer, I can't move.
And to be, oh damn. His bones are too soft forced to be arrested.
I'm too big.
Oh my god.
That way.
Officer, I can't. I'm not trying to be here. I'm not.
Oh god. I'm starting to get heated again by him. This entire part of that video just.
No.
Ah.
You have to turn and scoot that way.
Have you guys consulted with the DA?
We don't have a DA.
I love that. Have you consulted with the DA? It does. You don't consult with the DA. The DA consults with the officers. Like I didn't say this in the earlier part of the video, but yeah, the officers at their arrest, they don't consult with the district attorney. The district attorney consults with the officers. Like he was pissing me off so much. I didn't even catch that earlier. The fact that he stated that, I'm like, the officers don't consult with the district attorney at the time of the arrest. They arrest you, and then the DA goes, okay, cool. So you arrested him for this. Cool. I gotta get the evidence. Tell me your side of the story. That's what they do. And they don't approach until they have the paperwork on their desk and they go, shit, okay, what happened? Yeah.
You don't have a district attorney.
No.
You have a state attorney.
Bro asked for the manager. They said, we got no manager. Sorry, buddy. But I'll spare you the remaining 10 or 20 minutes. He's arrested for disorderly conduct. So is part of his crew and some of the fans who showed up. And this whole thing became a...
That video, I made that video go on so long. That guy was pissing me off so much. Oh my God, I can't believe how long. That video is not that long. It's like 22 minutes. And I carried it for like an hour.
giant fiasco. As you can see, this clip and
yeah,
video went
DA
viral,
is usually county.
and the comments
it's a district,
are just roasting him, right?
not
saying, Bro lost aura
not
after
the
saying
city.
He was a multi-millionaire. Gideon on Code Blue Cam was not in my 2026 bingo card.
Damn.
Gideon out here looking like a 50-year-old, acting like a 12-year-old.
I think Gideon needs some ice for that.
If he would have shut up, he wouldn't have been arrested.
That's
such
very
cases, by the
true.
way. I love how Skeet immediately cooperated and fled the scene like an adult, and that is referring to the squatter, because eventually he was on the scene and he saw what was going on and just left. Cooperated with the police and left. So the guy they were trying to get arrested walked away free because he simply wasn't a public nuisance, and Gideon and his crew ended up being in cuffs instead. There's something very ironic about that, but in response, Gideon apparently is getting his lawyers together, and the multi-millionaire comment really got to him. He has been crashing out over people mocking him for this, and he made a community post on YouTube showing a screenshot of his alleged bank account with a negative account balance, which...
I mean, you paid a $10,000 bond, like, instantly. You probably weren't paying attention to your cash flow and your checking account, and then also forgot that you have to pay taxes. You probably got, like, $20,000 from a stream, from that stream, and then got arrested and everything, and then, you have to also pay your taxes on top of that. So you got 20,000, and if you're a multimillionaire, you're paying like 53%, and then you pay $10,000 bond straight out. Yeah, you probably lost a lot of money. Just saying. Princess Aggro. Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. If you're bad with money, it's always going to be an issue. I'm just saying. And he sounds like he's bad with money.
Would be really pathetic if true, or two, this means nothing because we're all adults here. A lot of people have multiple bank accounts. This could literally mean absolutely nothing. Or
Rev.
three, of course, it's just fake. But the
okay, Rev, just point out that I'm wrong. No, like seriously, if this is a single bank account and he's negative 400. It means he put money in there and then paid out and then forgot that he needed to pay certain things and it went negative, which is his fault. He's not balancing his budget. That's what it comes down to. Just a retard for not doing that. That's what it comes down to. More than likely, he's got multiple bank accounts and then used the wrong account and now is negative, and now he's using that as the pity. Oh, pity me, I don't have my money. Fuck you, just move money.
The comments are interesting.
That's a Wells Fargo account.
The top ones like this say, if you're in trouble, the last thing you should say as a multi-millionaire is, hey, I'm a multi-millionaire. JD, that was the dumbest flex ever, bro. And he hearted it. I guess it's like one of those things where he's trying to basically mock the mockery and get ahead of it. You know, like Hassan with the dog shocking stuff. Like, I don't know. But he clearly was very bothered by this entire situation. And this is important to understand. He would live stream about this, saying he's getting canceled for being arrested. Well, there's definitely some very legitimate criticism about how he encourages, or at the very least doesn't discourage, his fans from showing up at the sites of his live streams where you have, in many cases, people with violent...
His fanny's flustered. Yeah, he's definitely... This is one of those... It it's legitimate criticism. You're getting canceled. Yeah, you had fans show up to a live stream area where you were told, don't go on the property, and then you told them, hey, go on the property for me. Yeah, you're getting people in trouble that don't deserve to get in trouble.
Histories being handled and his fans being exposed to them or even involved in the recording of the stream and related content, there is legitimate criticism towards that to be made. That's not being canceled. But he's not really being canceled beyond that. He's just getting made fun of, right? The whole thing is embarrassing. And because we have the body cam footage, we can see how he was behaving. And it was, yeah, very embarrassing. Embarrassing enough that yesterday he uploaded a YouTube video titled I Quit. And as you can see, 10,000 dislikes on it. Clearly people are not buying it too much, but let's have a fun game. Get out some scratch paper if you want and just mark down every time he says the word genuinely. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch the intro to get a sense of what he's driving at here with this clickbait video.
All right. For everyone, I need to know. How many times do you think he says genuinely in this clip that we're going to watch? I want to know what people think. I try, like, if I'm not streaming Penny, I get that. I do that. I have like 3, 4, or 5 streams up. 24, you don't, I don't know. Which, if he says it 24 times, yeah, you better just empty out the bottle if you're doing a drinking game.
Yo, what's good, y'all, man? So, this is genuinely gonna be my last video ever like this. I'm never gonna make a video like this again, but, you know, obviously you guys know what's all going on. You guys saw me getting arrested. You guys saw Cold Blues video and everything. And I did a reaction to it, kind of like, oh no, this wasn't right. This is how it happened. Da 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 da.
More than 5, I probably.
Genuinely, during the last few weeks, I've done a lot of just like inward reflection, and I've been talking to my fiance a lot, and I just kind of came to realize, you know.
Hold on.
It kind of like, oh no, this wasn't right. This is how it happened. Da 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 da. But genuinely, during the last few weeks, I've done a lot of just like inward reflection, and I've been talking to my fiance a lot.
Yeah, I did hear that word right. She either wears the pants in the house or you make really good money to put up with your bullshit.
And I just kind of came to realize, you know, what I was doing wrong. And I also came to realize that truly your boy was spiraling, you know. I was genuinely losing the plot. And I have to say, like, genuinely, I feel like a hypocrite, you know, because just a couple videos ago, I was saying how what Alex was doing was a distraction from the bigger mission, and then I come along doing what I was doing, and if anything, it was an even bigger distraction from the mission. You know what I mean? Now,
so what he's saying is,
that was
after
6.
reflecting on his behavior, he has realized
I think I counted 6.
Is a distraction from the mission he's supposed to be doing, that he is getting too caught up in many different things, and he is taking away from what he is supposed to be trying to do. Now, I'm going to give you a TLDR of the rest. Basically, he's not going to live stream anymore. That's his solution. And the goal is to no longer
that was 5. Okay, 3 at one time. Okay,
to make fun of him.
I miscounted somewhere.
Or carry himself well enough during his streams. He leaves himself vulnerable to criticism and mockery. So to protect himself from embarrassing himself, he's not going to stream anymore. That's basically the solution. That's the main takeaway. But as you saw, the word genuinely was a featured sort of verbiage, right? To a nauseating degree, but the comments are diabolical, okay? Bro getting cooked in his comments.
Genuinely.
Genuinely maxing as a multi-millionaire.
That's
Bro's lawyer told him to make a genuine apology. He genuinely says 10 times within the first 6 minutes of this video. Really, just 10 times? It was nearly 100. How many times do you see a multi-millionaire make a genuine apology? This whole situation is a gigantic mess. I hate when these sorts of...
It's a 16-minute video, and like the first like minute is like 5 genuines. What the? He's special.
Of missions, as he calls it, become spectacles for
Must
content
be true.
instead
Must be.
of actually doing what they're intending to do. And in this situation, without the body cam footage, who knows how this would have been portrayed? He probably would have been
I don't
portraying
know.
himself as some ultimate victim of these police. But
I don't want to watch that video. I might go insane.
Pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and he was warned many times. He didn't listen, didn't care, kept going, and eventually he found out and was arrested for disorderly conduct, as along his crew and some of the fans who showed up.
Hun, if you watch it, tell me how many times, if you actually keep track.
Embarrassing one, but I mean, what do you expect? It's just genuine behavior from a multi-millionaire. What can you say, ladies and gentlemen? But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week here live on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Good old Rev. Good old Rev. She raw dogs it, which Godspeed to. Love. All right. You'll watch it? Okay. Sounds good. Well, I'm at the office. But, all right, everyone. Yeah. Something.
I've watched the years decay, faces fade, but I remain forever. Is a curse that learns your name.
Anyways, as Rudy's calling me out for shit, I'm going to call it for the night, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for swinging by today. Yeah, today was fun. We only did like 3 videos, but it took forever to get through those 3 videos because I kept talking, pausing, and fine. Kind of the point of reacts. It was, but yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow for more streams. We're actually gonna be playing more Metroid Prime 4 tomorrow. And I gotta figure out a time to play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Ragnarok. So skill issue, yes. I'm glad you swung by, Penny, but yeah, we're going to be, yeah. That's don't put me on that level. I'm not nowhere near that level. One of these days, maybe, but anyways, everyone, we're gonna head off. I'm gonna go right off to Xcount over on Twitch, YouTube. I think he's on Kick as well. Go give Xcount love and support because he's a great guy. He's our gun autist. So, and I have to call it because I do need sleep so I can go to work tomorrow because I've got the office day tomorrow. But only a few more days and I'm on vacation. Oh, by the way, you know, we have the Uncapped Subathon coming up. So look forward to that because that's literally next Monday. My birthday's next Wednesday. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Yes, you can. But thanks everyone for swinging by. I will catch you guys all tomorrow. Go give X Count some love and support. And of course, guys, I will see you all later. Till next time. Take care. Yep, I did see that, Rudy.
I will never defend